Welcome to another episode of Clark's Collision, the show where two buddies talk movies, comics, and more. This is also the show that will die for burgers because there is no greater death. I am one of your hosts, Christian Bean, and with me is the real reason you're here, Mario Bennese.
What? What?
So how you doing this week, buddy?
I'm on cloud 9.
Why is that?
Got Metallica tickets! Woo!
Oh yeah, Metallica's coming to the concert.
Woohoo!
Hopefully, when the tickets go up for us normal folk, not one of you special people, I can actually get tickets that aren't $300 because I want to go. And I do criticize. I am a little bit critical of the fact being that there should be no reason why I should have to pay $150, $150 for nosebleed tickets. Now I know on Ticketmaster as we're recording it's saying $55, but I've been burned by that crap before.
I mean, I kind of had a feeling that they would be this expensive, so I put money away.
That's true, but the problem is that I don't have that, I guess, luxury.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, Metallica isn't necessarily a band that I would stow money for. Like, I love them. I think they're great, but it's not Tool.
Yeah.
No, it's not like me, like, when the Tool album comes out, that's it. I'm going to start saving when the Tool album comes out, if it ever comes out, when it ever comes out. I'm going to start saving because I'm going to get the nicest seats I can possibly get. If I can get to a pit, I'm going to get into the pit. I'm going to get right in front and be there hours early. I'm going to see that band.
Oh, so am I. If I have to, I will get there at like 9 a.m. and wait in line.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go. I really want to go. Like, it sounds like a lot of fun. I just, it's expensive.
Yeah, I get it.
This concert, man, they're... God.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, I can do. Anything interesting going on this week?
Other than that, really, no, not really.
Right.
That was the highlight of my week.
Proud of you.
Well, because the reason that I asked you to move the movie back from 11:05 to 12:05 is because tickets went on sale. I thought they went on sale at 9 a.m., but that's for the Legacy members, people that were part of the Met Club when it was still a paid thing. They made it a free thing, so people who signed up after a certain time period, they had to wait until 11 a.m.
Well, that makes sense.
My class got out at 10:50. I'm like, all right, well, I got to wait 10 minutes till 11 o'clock. I don't know how long it's going to take me.
That's fair. No, that's fine. It was perfect. We had 2 showings. We didn't have to worry about when we were going to go.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Like an hour.
Like, I made sure you had plenty of time to get to class.
Yeah. I was scared for a moment. They put me in a waiting room that had a 10-minute timer on it. I'm like, crap, I'm not going to get my tickets. And then I did, and I was happy. And I was shaking. And almost crying. I was in a public place, Christian.
And you were crying? Welcome to my club.
It's hard to contain the
Welcome
excitement.
To the club, man. It hurts. It hurts. A bad feeling.
So how about you, buddy?
Nothing really interesting happened. There's some cool things going on at work right now, but like, I don't really gonna discuss it until. It has to do with me and like where my positioning at work, which I'm pretty excited for, and how things are going. Other than that, I mean, the show's doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm doing bad. Yeah. We're doing pretty good. I'm pretty proud. We got a small little like, it's a little following. Makes me smile. I'm like, yay!
I haven't checked my numbers.
Everyone likes Mario.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding.
Come on. You talk far more than I do.
What's pretty great is that I was a story that I told you earlier that I want to tell on the show because it's hilarious. So, and I know Austin, Bobby haven't heard it, and they're gonna love this. It was during my break at my crap job at Macy's, and I was going on my 15-minute break, and I went to the food court to get myself something to drink, and I was going to hang out at the food court for like 10 minutes or whatever, and then come right back. It's only a 2-minute walk. On my way to the food court, I saw these 2 emo kids just pigging out on each other. And here's the thing. I am not a public affection kind of person. I don't like seeing other couples show public affection. It makes me very uncomfortable.
It's kind of gross. Holding
hands, I get, is fine. Kissing, hugging, that's all fine. I understand that. I am very uncomfortable about it, but I understand that culturally that's fine. It's fine. It's just me that doesn't feel comfortable with it. Even with my relationship, I have a hard time showing public affection sometimes. It is very, very difficult. But I do it because I know that's what Bobby wants, and I understand that is what is expected of me, and I'm fine with it. It's difficult sometimes, but I try.
I didn't realize making out like hardcore was socially acceptable.
It's not. But
oh yeah, I thought you
that
said
disgusts me. People who do that in public, it's one thing to find a secluded place where no one's going to find you and do it. I think it's gross.
Like a janitor closet.
At least you're trying. But when you're in the middle of a mall, when people are walking by you doing that, you're a disgusting human being, and I think you're trash. I don't like you. I don't want to be associated with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You disgust me. Yes, high schoolers disgust me. They just gross me out. I just find them incredibly uncomfortable and incredibly unnerving to be around. So I see that, I'm like, whatever. I'm just not gonna say anything. I usually say something like, hey, can you not do that in the middle of a mall? But I'm like, I'm tired. It's my 15-minute break. I just need a break. And then the girl says something to him that I'm just like, it just sets off a bean alarm. I was born for this day. I was bred for this moment in my life.
This is the sole reason you exist.
The sole reason I existed was to have this confrontation because I earned it. I earned this confrontation. I am prepared. I have prepared an onslaught and I prepared evidence. I can get deep into it. This is what a Batman fan has bred me for. She looks at him in the eyes and I cannot believe this came out of her stupid high schooler mouth. It's like, oh, I love you like Harley loves Joker. And I'm like, all right. Eyes blinged up. I'm like, it is my time to shine. This is what God put me on this earth for. It's for moments like these. So I turn around without a second's hesitation. I mean, there was no thought behind it. I was ready. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, so what you're saying is that he beats you. You don't have a single happy moment. He kills your pets because you don't talk to him enough. Every single happy thing that's ever happened to you is he makes sure something horrible or tragic happens as well. So you're always tied to him. You can't do anything without him. And he literally makes your life a living hell every day. And you have trouble getting away from that because you're an abusive, very heartbreaking relationship that shouldn't exist and is very, tragic. Perfect. Because people are walking by hearing this. And I'm just like, I have given a gift today. Thank you, God. And the guy looks at me and says, hey, man. We're talking about the connection. I'm like, what connection? A connection that's entirely based on domestic abuse. Do you know how disgusting that is? That you're sitting there spreading this message of domestic abuse is okay because, they love each other. They don't love each other. They broke up. She left him because he was a very abusive, horrible human being that hurt her in many different ways. There's nothing to be happy about with that relationship. It doesn't matter the other interpretations. Other interpretations are disgusting pushing of it's okay to have a domestic abuse relationship if they love you. It's a gross thing and it should not be okay to be said. And then started walking away. I just couldn't help myself. There's abuse hotline, sweetheart, if you need to call somebody about this. It's all right. You can call. You're not alone. And they walk away. Felt great. I was in cloud 9. It was the moment I was bred for. I was so proud of myself. And I know at least one person listening to this is like, well, that was uncalled for. Well, let me put it like this to you. The reason I hate that kind of that is because I do, beyond a doubt, there are a handful of things I hate more than anything that I do not find is forgivable, and I do feel should be punishable by extreme measure. One of those things is domestic abuse on either way. Mm-hmm. I think domestic abuse is a terrible, monstrous thing because there's no reason for it. There's never a reason for it. There's never a reason to hurt somebody just because you can, because you think you have the right to. You don't have a right to hurt somebody.
That's going to come up later in our discussion of Garbage Day.
Yes. Actually, yes, it does tie into Garbage Day a lot. I have a huge issue with it, and that's why people romanticize the Joker or Harley relationship. I am disgusted. That disgusts me.
I hate it so much.
It, to my core, disgusts me because Harley Quinn as a character has gone through so much. And it has been about this girl who was beaten down, destroyed by this monster, who's now finally gotten out of that and is trying to come back up. It's a very, very rewarding story of someone who has dealt with tragedy, who's been hurt, who's been beaten, who's been turned crazy, and is now doing everything she can to get better. It's very uplifting. She's a great image of somebody just trying to move on. And I do personally look up to her in some ways. I'm like, that amount of willingness to say no more is just is a strength that you can never understand. I don't think I could ever understand. People who romanticize that disgust me. They're disgusting, despicable people that do not deserve my time of day or anyone's time of day. I feel that they're terrible human beings. And yes, I felt really good after tearing into them. I felt great. I felt like my life is meant to this. Best part is when people were like looking at this and like no one said anything and just like a few people that are just nodding in approval. I'm like, yeah, all right,
yeah, boy,
I win today. I get one.
This is my one.
This is my one. Everyone gets one. This is mine. I could die right now and feel like I did something successful in my life. It's really sad that that meant that it means that much to me. Being able to tear into some nerdy, not even nerdy, just some emo kids who don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Emu
kids. All right. Well, with that, let's get on to the news. We're in transition, but DC has announced that they're gonna host the first ever Wonder Woman Day this year on June 3rd. You know, it'd be a great way to host that by announcing a another Comic Con for would be kind of awesome.
Or putting out a trailer or something.
Or
they probably will do that. I couldn't see them not doing that.
I couldn't see them not doing that either. Or, giving us another more comics with just her in it, doing her stuff. Maybe an entire comic line dedicated to her Greek heritage. Just saying. I'm just saying it might be interesting to actually give her something more than a day. Giving a character a day is like, hey, you're a part of our franchise. Yeah, thumbs up. It's fine.
You done it.
It's a hand, but why don't you give her more? Why don't you give her her own line, maybe her own team? I don't know, something. Can we give more Wonder Woman? Because she's a really interesting character. She's one of your big three. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why you don't give more for her. It's just me.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because she deserves it. I love Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Hopefully there's no stuff like they did around the time of the UN thing.
Sorry, guys.
Because that was also supposed to be Wonder Woman Day, and then that was taken away by whiny internet crybabies.
People who really just wanted to complain. I mean, I respect if you have an opinion that differs from mine. I just do. I could not
back it up with something. Then it doesn't hold up for my feelings. No, that's not an argument. It wasn't even
that. The argument was that she's just was another pretty girl, another pretty.
So what?
Yeah,
you shouldn't be focusing on what she looks like, but the actions that she makes.
She's the most powerful female character in comics. I'm like, yeah. Do other people deserve that award?
I don't care what you look like. If your heart isn't in the right place and you're not doing things for the betterment of society, then you're not. I don't care.
Isn't Emma Watson an honorary UN member?
For some reason, yes.
Yeah, and I think that's ridiculous. Like, why does she deserve it more than, I don't know, a fictional character? What has she done that is of that note? And I mean,
Hermione.
Yeah, seriously though. I know the argument what is Wonder Woman.
Hermione.
I know the argument between what has Wonder Woman done, and I think that's the point. Is that if Hermione Granger, if Emma Watson can have it for not really doing much. I mean, let's be realistic. There are women in the world that deserve that more than her. Which is fine. I think it's a fair argument, but I think the point being is that why can't we have both? Why can't we have women that deserve to be there and honorary memberships for people that have inspired and have hope, to give hope to the people, and have been a character people can connect with for years? There is a two-way street, and I don't understand why it was viewed in such a narrow-minded way.
It was just a slap in the face to Wonder Woman fans.
It's a slap in the face to comic fans, because like every time we ever get any form of like... Every time someone who reads comics avidly gets any form of like, I don't know what's called, the word I'm looking for. Gratification or like
validity,
validation that our hobbies mean something, that are like this art form is actually this
culturally or significant.
Yeah, this art form is like culturally significant, and we're not just like a bunch of just pathetic nerds like everyone thinks we are. Every time we ever get anything like that, someone always complains and ruins it for us. I don't think people understand how hard it is for being a comic book fan, loving this art form as much as we do, and just constantly being belittled for it. Even people who like the movies have belittled me for liking the comics. Because like, yeah, it's really great. I like how they made this and this change from the comic. That was really interesting. It's like, ugh, no one cares what's in the comic. I'm not saying it's bad they made the changes. I'm saying it's interesting. I'm like, it's interesting they made those changes. I like how they made these subtle references. And like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, the references, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, if you like the character, you might be really interested in this book. I don't read comics. I had someone literally said to me, I don't read the comics, I just watch the movies. Movies are better anyways. I'm like, for Iron Man, I might actually agree with you in some cases.
Yeah.
But
well, the first one.
Still, there are some things that are just works of art. And this Wonder Woman Day is great, but it's a day. Like the one time Wonder Woman really got a thank you or like any form of vindication for being a great character and inspiring young women around the world was taken. But it was taken by people it wasn't for them. It wasn't about what she represented. It was just about what they wanted, why they didn't like it. And I just felt that's just so ridiculous.
Up next is probably a Superman Day. They need to announce one.
I think they should have a Superman Day, Batman Day, and Wonder Woman Day.
They
Consistently,
really
that's the three best. They're the three best characters.
They gave a cop-out version of a Superman Day. It was June 12th, 2013. It was that Wednesday of that week. And they put out
I do find
a free copy of the first issue of All-Star Superman to promote Man of Steel. But that was it.
All-Star Superman wasn't even very good.
What? What?
I'm kidding. I don't like the ending of it.
What?
I didn't like the ending of All-Star Superman. I thought it was fine. It just didn't tied up as well as it could have. It's not the be-all, end-all.
No, it's not the be-all, end-all, but it's a good story.
I just have the problem with people saying it's an excellent story, but I think the ending's weak. My only thing, I think the ending's weak. I just do that to make you mad that it's not good. I do every Superman. It's not good. See, do me a favor, Mario. There is a Superman story that I can never disrespect, no matter how much I want to make fun of it. Which is Superman for All Seasons. That book is treasure.
It is.
Whatever. Get over yourself. Look at this little whiner. Look at him. Look at him. He's just sitting there. You can't see him, but look at him. Imagine this Hispanic Italian looking nerd, just sitting there with his arms crossed, head in his chest, trying not to laugh now because I'm now making fun of him. He just flipped me off. All right, let's move on to the news. Kevin Smith's to helm a Spawn spin-off TV show called Sam and Twitch, which was a Spawn spin-off comic book series originally written by Brian Michael Bendis. My God.
Have an easy name, man.
Bendis. It was written by Bendis. You don't know who that Bendis is? Read Ultimate Spider-Man. You'll understand. Series was originally made in 1992. It was drawn by Todd McFarlane because Spawn was his character. It's cool. Kevin Smith is an interesting person to take on this series. It's a police procedural, which I think will work for Kevin. I like Kevin Smith, but I do feel like there's a level of simplicity behind a police procedural, that I think he'll be able to jump onto easier. And he's gotten used to doing them too.
Yeah.
I don't mean to disrespect Kevin Smith. I just don't feel like. I mean, let's be honest. His movies aren't necessarily that complicated. It's not a complicated
No,
writer.
but it's not really about the complication. I just appreciate how he's able to capture actual dialogue. Like he writes naturalistic dialogue,
he does.
and I appreciate that.
I do too. I think a police procedural will be interesting to see by him because he is a very natural writer. I still think Tarantino's more. I think Tarantino's how Tarantino writes conversations with like coworkers or friends is just like that's great.
Austin, no.
Mario.
He's 4 issues behind on Superman.
Come on, pay attention. What you doing? Huh? I don't care. He's catching up.
Judging the size of his bags and boards.
Let's move on. The Archer Season 8 trailer has been released, revealing several factors, including the release date being April 5th at 10 p.m., while moving from FX network to the FXX.
Is that a dirty channel?
I don't know, man. It's apparently the theme. It's a noir theme, and in the whole series has been shifted to a classic gangster theme of the 1920s. And I'm gonna come out there now. I don't like Archer.
I like it.
I don't think it's funny. I don't think Archer's an interesting character. I think the show is very bland and boring for me.
Well, how much did you watch?
I think I watched the first 4 seasons.
Okay. Well, fair enough. You gave it a fair shake.
I watched the first 4 seasons because I was forced to watch it. I think after the first season I was done. I'm like, this show's terrible. I can't do this. A fair shake for a show is 5 episodes. That is a fair shake for a show. Let's be honest.
Okay. Well, I mean, usually the first season is always pretty rough because they haven't gotten their footing yet.
Community season 1 was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, most shows.
Firefly season 1 was great.
That's because it's the only season.
Still great, wasn't it? Was it not still great? Regardless of being the only season, was it not so great?
It was 8.
It was great.
Joss Whedon is okay.
Joss Whedon's a pretty good writer when it's his own material. When it's his own creations, he's an excellent writer. I think he's brilliant. I just don't think he's very good with other people's toys. Avengers is a good movie. Age of Ultron is a terrible movie. In hindsight, it's not good at all. So hard to watch.
I'm kind of excited. I haven't watched Archer for a while, but I do like the show.
I honestly think the paradigm switch is just because they're trying to milk this for as long as they humanly can.
I think they're ending it at like season 9, 10, season 10.
I really just think they're just trying to milk it at this point. Let's just milk it for another season and another season until we get season 10. They'll just end it, and it won't be very good. It should not have lasted 8 seasons. It should not. It's just not the writing quality of 8 seasons of television. Sorry, I just don't.
Well, you know what?
You know what?
You have an opinion, and it's different from mine. So that's okay, because we're buddies. This isn't the internet.
Speaking of strong writing, Fox has renewed Lucifer for a 3rd season. The show has an average of an unprecedented 8 million viewers per episode, which is really good for a show about the devil.
Yeah.
Okay. I have only watched halfway through season 1, mainly because television's hard for me. It's hard to sit down and watch a whole season of television on air. I love Star Wars Rebels, right? I saw Jumping Down. I love this show. I'm like 4 episodes behind. I sit down and I watch all the episodes and gulp because that's how I like to watch TV. I like to binge, like I think a normal human should. I hate network television. I think network television is an archaic relic of the past. I don't think television shows like Lucifer that tell these long narratives. I don't think Arrow, I don't think Flash, I don't think Super. I don't think they're not meant for TV. They're meant to be online on Netflix, or we can stream it in like one big gulp.
Yeah,
I think that's where. Soap opera is perfect for network television. You pop it on, it doesn't matter. Shows to where the plots don't connect throughout the season, fine. Like X-Files, no, because there was kind of a narrative, even though it's not. It's very loose. Twilight Zone, perfect for network television. Go and put it out there. I feel network television has just kind of lost its charm. Doesn't need to happen anymore. Doesn't need to exist with the internet being what it is. And a lot of people complain, but I don't have the internet where I am. Oh, I'm sorry, you live in a backwards tech town. I'm kidding. I'm sorry you don't have the internet, but just it's a fact of life. Get internet. It's worth the money. Get rid of your car. You don't need a car. You probably need a car where you are. Keep your car. Get rid of your cat. You don't need a cat. I'm sorry, Fluffykins. Fluffykins isn't needed anymore. Put Fluffykins out in the market. Just throw him outside. He'll be fine. He can survive. I don't know why that got weird. That got really weird. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not.
This next bit of news is actually going to spark the topic of the week, which we've already kind of touched on a little bit earlier. Stranger Things creator Matt and Ross Duffer, which I'm not going to lie, until I read the script, I didn't realize that they brothers actually made this show, which is actually kind of cool. Confirms that Stranger Things will run for at least 4 seasons and possibly a 5th season. Matt Duffer quoted, I want to have a really finite ending. I don't want it to be one of those shows that run out of gas and lose and they lose it because they're losing interest. You want to end when you're on top. Sorry, it's weirdly written. I'm trying to read this. It's not your fault. It's just guy can't talk apparently.
And when you're on top.
Yeah, man. I hate you so much. Season 2 will premiere on Netflix on Halloween, October 31st, 2017. So, about the news article, I'm really happy. They have a beginning, a middle, and end in mind. They have a clear story. How many seasons it's going to be, it's kind of up in the air, but they have a story. They know when it's going to end. They have a clear narrative they're building here. I really like that. So the topic of the week involving this is that it brings on an interesting topic of how do you end television shows? I know we've talked about endings before and why endings are usually kind of unsatisfying. Remember, probably we talked about that before.
Yeah.
But this was specifically with TV. Is there like a guideline when making TV about how long it should run? Is there a kind of flow to it? Should things like Friends? Is there a expiration date on Friends? And I don't like Friends, but on a show like Friends. Mario hates Friends.
It's not very good.
We had a huge argument about it earlier.
It's not good.
It's not good, but it's culturally relevant and very important to what television is today. Just putting it out there.
Full House sucks too.
Well, Full House sucks.
Me.
Full House didn't do anything. Full House is a stupid, forgettable Nintendo show that never needed to happen. Didn't do anything for
Nintendo show.
Nickelodeon. Same thing. They're both dumb companies that don't know what they're doing with themselves.
Fight me.
Yeah,
they're both bad.
Friends lasted way too long. I think we can all agree. We can all agree that Friends lasted too long. It took too long. We can all agree that Simpsons has been on for too long.
I agree. They've jumped the shark. As much as I like the Simpsons.
They haven't just jumped the shark. They've jumped
like 5.
They've jumped 5 sharks, an airplane, and astronauts. They're so far over that shark that they're about to jump to the sun. All right? It's lasted way too long.
And I like the Simpsons.
I like the older seasons.
Yeah.
I think they're funny. I just think because it was new.
I like the characters.
So, the question comes down to is that shows like Stranger Things and X-Files, I guess would be one, that have narratives. When you make a show that has a clear story, you should have a beginning, middle, and end. The reason why Supernatural is as terrible as it is right now, and I was like, it's not that bad. No, it's bad. The first 5 seasons, whenever the Apocalypse arc ended, that was clearly where they wanted to end that show. Clearly where they wanted to end it was at the Apocalypse arc. It was perfect. Great series up to that point. Had a very clear story or a very clear narrative that was very enjoyable and fun. And after that, completely derailed. Completely makes no sense whatsoever. Doesn't need to exist. It's just rehashing a lot of the same ideas and just doing a lot of the same things over and over again. So obviously that show way past its expiration date. Shows like Firefly. Great show. Did not last nearly as long as it should have. Now, to be fair, a lot of that has to do with Fox meddling and Fox not understanding what made the show interesting and Fox not caring. They want to do it their way because they're stupid and no one likes them. I don't like Fox. I do not like Fox, particularly because they ruined Firefly.
Yeah.
They ruined a show that could have been one of the most interesting, most important sci-fi shows to ever exist on TV. They could have revolutionized it. Sorry, I dropped something. They could have revolutionized the genre for television the same way Star Trek did. I know they might be coming back, but I mean, I've lost all hope at this point because I've heard that
they waited too long.
I've heard that song on Ants so many times. That show did not last long enough, obviously. So what is the guideline? Even with shows with stories, have a clear story. Is there a point when it does run on too long where the story has gone too far? And where do you think for shows that have no story that are procedurally generated, like How I Met Your Mother is very obviously procedurally generated. They could still be doing that show to this day if they really, really wanted to. What do you think the ending is? Is it through audience reception, or is it through profit? Because audience reception is one thing, but audience reception grows and shrinks depending constantly. You know.
Yeah.
Like, if that was the case, we should stop every show mid-season because mid-season viewings are never as good as the beginning viewings.
I think it's a combination of multiple things. You got the artist's drive to create, which is obviously, always going to be a factor. Unless
you're a soap opera, then you're not doing art. Yeah. Let's just accept you're making nonsense.
At
least make the nonsense entertaining.
And then you have two things that kind of go hand in hand. You have viewing numbers and how much money the show is pulling in. Without one,
I do think television is much more of a profit-based market than movies are.
And those two things seem to really determine how long a show will stay on.
Yeah, but a lot of that at the same time is that I don't think that should be the be-all, end-all. I think that if the numbers aren't the best, but the profit isn't the best, but it's making something and it's doing well somewhere, I think you should at least give a show a couple seasons. Because some shows will take a couple seasons to really get their audience. That's not that they're not good season one. They don't have an audience season one.
Yeah. And as much as I think that's a fair thing, give every artist a fair shake, that's not how it works.
True. But I do feel like that's how... I feel like in this conversation especially, I think the bar trying is it's how it should work. If they would have canceled Stranger Things at season 1, I think it would have been upsetting. It would have been really annoying because Stranger Things is a great show. I also don't think they would have been able to really capture the amount... I guarantee after season 2, the audience will at least be significantly bigger. Because you haven't really gotten into the show.
No.
And I have nothing but faith by season 2. You'll watch season 1, you'll enjoy it. Then you'll watch season 2, and that's what's going to hook you. I do think it's going to take more people talking about it. Because that's what a lot of shows are completely dependent on people talking about it.
Yeah.
And I do feel like when you end a show at season 1, you aren't doing it justice. The only time it makes sense is when it made no money and no viewership. I'm like, all right, obviously something was wrong with you. You couldn't even have a small audience. You've got a problem.
Well, going back to the thing about the story arcs and when to end a show.
Mm-hmm.
There are obviously different formulas for different shows. I mean, shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air didn't really have that much of a flowing narrative. It was mainly just a premise.
Yeah, it was.
Will Smith goes to live with his aunt and
It was a
uncle.
procedural.
Yeah, but near the end, like in season 6, like the last couple episodes, they started having a plot where it's like, okay, well
that was just like
Uncle Phil and everyone, they're leaving the house. They're buying a new place. They're moving out of Bel-Air, and Will Smith is kind of
old.
Dang it, Christian. He's got to kind of come to grips with the fact that his life is being uprooted again.
Mm-hmm.
But for something that has a long flowing narrative, yeah, I think the general way to go is, unless you know for a fact that you're getting a second season, like if it's something that you know is going to pull in the numbers that you need and the money that they want, then yeah, you can leave on a cliffhanger for season 1.
I don't even think that.
But ideally, what you should do is write a story that even if you don't get the next season, write it so you have a complete story.
I don't think a cliffhanger. I think, depending on how you look at cliffhanger, I think it depends how you do it. I think you should at least end your story by season 1. I think your story should have a very clear beginning, middle, and end. I think every season should be that way. There should be a clear story for that season,
which is
that
why
story,
I really like.
story should be ended in that season, and then the ending of the last episode, you can have like a teaser of what's to come or what can happen next, and the next season picks that up.
Yeah, because you're always gonna have a moment.
Not a cliffhanger, just a teaser.
You're always gonna have a moment after.
Yeah.
What happens after the cameras go off? And that's part of why I liked the first season of Once Upon a Time, because it did what it said it was going to do. Tell the story of how,
the story was very, very clear at the very beginning.
It kind of dropped off halfway through the second season. I'm like, I'm not buying it anymore.
Yeah, I dropped off after the Frozen season. I'm like, I'm interested. I like a lot of these characters. I'm interested in this show, but man, I just don't care anymore. And it's like I even think the Frozen part of the show is better than the Frozen in the Disney movies. I vocally do not like that movie.
I hate that movie
at all. I think it's terrible. I do not think it's very good. I do not think it's one of Disney's
rant
best.
about that movie, but that's a time for another podcast.
Yeah. Movie rants, the podcast. So, I think the point comes here is that there is a lot of elements behind that. I think what Matt and Ross are doing with Stranger Things is perfect. They know where they want their story to go.
Yeah, and that's fine.
They know how they want their story.
And they know it's bringing in the money. It's obviously bringing in the money because...
You need to watch it. You would adore the 80 nostalgia factor, and you would adore the story aspect to it. Like I've told you, man, I've told you 100 times. It's E.T. meets Alien.
I know.
And it's so
I just had to have a moment to sit down and not have to do anything.
I might have to do a viewing with you. The commentary on the first episode, maybe?
Maybe.
I've seen that. I've rewatched. I think I've rewatched season 1 at least twice now.
Maybe.
It's very good. I really enjoyed it. It's very, very clever. And the kid actors, it's one of the few times I'll say that the child actors in the girl playing 11, I always forget her name. It's something, but I think we're gonna talk about it later. But I'll tell her she's one of my favorite actresses right now. She has so much talent. She is so talented, and she's so dedicated to being an actress that I'm just like, I love you. I think she's in King Kong.
Oh,
she's gonna be in King Kong. No, Godzilla. I'm sorry, not. Sorry, she's being the new Godzilla, which is going to have King Kong in it. So I'm still right, thank you. So it's when stuff like this, when you have a show has a story, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think is really interesting. I think ran way too long.
Yeah,
I think Joss Whedon did a really good job with that show. I think it's really cool. I do feel like it ran on forever. It feels like forever. I've been meaning to rewatch it because I never finished it. I got through the third season. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Like halfway, like a third of the way through. I'm like, I'm out. I'm just tired. I'm tired of this. I want, because it was that, and I was gonna watch Supernatural, and I was gonna watch Doctor Who, And I'm just like, I want to get these other shows people keep telling me to watch. No one's telling me to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm only watching it because my mom really wanted me to watch it. I'm just like, this is good. I'll watch it some other time. It's been like 5 or 6 years. So it says a lot about me. And then longer. It's been like 8 years. Jesus. Sorry, I just realizing, man, it's been a long time since I've touched that show. So yeah, I think when it comes to procedurals, I think it just really depends on audience reception with profit margin. If you're still making a profit, I don't blame you for keeping the show going.
Yeah. If
you're not making a profit anymore, but you have a large audience, I would say there's obviously somewhere going the business end. I would say, I guess, try. If you're doing fine audience and fine profit, you might as well keep going. It's really hard to say. The problem with procedurals is that they do just end. We talk about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The biggest problem with the last season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is very good, but it just ends.
Yeah, it kind of does just end.
It just drops off because people lost interest, and it's fine. Cosby Show, the last couple episodes of the Cosby Show just end.
Yeah.
With rape. No, I'm kidding. But now knowing, man, I can't. I'm just like, God.
I can still watch it because I can separate the actions from the artist.
I can, but knowing that there's people in there that are being raped by, I'm like, God. I mean, like, okay, I appreciate the show's a cultural relevance, but God, it's hard to watch. I'm like, God. I'm very good at separating, but that's just one of those times like I can't. It's hard. I still crap on him all day, happily. All the joy. Enjoy every second of crapping on him. It's the best.
I think I did a project on him in high school.
Really?
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
It's funny because I've never been a huge Cosby fan, and I never was a huge Cosby fan, and then that came out. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm glad I never got really connected to the person. I respected him. I don't anymore, but I did. There's a time and a place.
A long time ago?
A galaxy far, far away.
Sorry.
Disney Mulan live action remake has gotten the White Rider.
No, that's the Whale Rider.
Whale Rider. Why did I say white? Whale Rider, New Zealand female director Nikki Carlo. For all those of you who are just so invested in the Disney live action remakes.
If I wanted to watch Mulan or Beauty and the Beast or The Jungle Book, I would just watch the animated versions. There's no reason for me to shell out $15 or more or less, however many dollars it is, whatever time I decide to go see it, to watch a movie that I've already seen, but with people. It's stupid. It's money grabbing. Have an original thought, Disney. Try.
Which is really strange considering it's Disney who do produce
Disney,
original content.
Try for once.
And we're not saying that, we recognize there's a lot of people that like Jungle Book, and we recognize the Jungle Book was quality.
It was quality, but it's not something I'm going to go buy on Blu-ray.
It's nothing that needed to happen.
Exactly.
It didn't need to exist. I don't care. It's like...
The only good thing was Christopher Walken singing that song.
God, Christopher Walken.
Ooby-doo.
I'm like, just stop. Just stop.
Just came out of nowhere.
Walken, just stop. Just please, no.
Start walking in the other direction.
I mean, this whole news is about, like, trying to talk about the director, but, I mean, it's kind of derailed because we just don't care. Why does nobody care? Tarzan was stupid. Both the Alice in Wonderland movies are stupid.
They didn't do a live action Tarzan.
Yeah, they
that
did.
Was somebody else. That was somebody else, Christian.
You don't want to believe?
I know what you're talking about. The really bad one.
Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah, that wasn't Disney. That was somebody else.
Really, I thought it was Disney. I could have sworn that was Disney.
Nope.
That's right. They don't own the rights to that anymore, do they?
I'm not sure. I think it's still in the public domain. It might be. I don't know, unless it belongs to Burroughs Estate. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on Tarzan.
No one is.
Edgar Rice Burroughs was. It's because he created him.
I just don't see why people care. I mean, I get it. Mulan's cool.
Yeah, Mulan's cool.
Mulan's cool in her animated movie. Mulan will be fine. I've already seen Mulan 100 times. I'll see it 101 times. I'll see it 200 times. I'll have kids and I'll watch it 500 times. I don't care.
There's no reason for this to happen.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to happen. It's just,
I'm tired of it.
Well, writer, that's cool. Good director. Good on them. They got a good director.
Yeah, a good director.
And that's fine. I just don't. There's no reason to care. Like, there's nothing.
The same thing
nothing. They're not giving us anything that is telling us that this has to exist. It's just there. And I was like, but the fans, well, it has to stick to the fans. Look, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You know, it's not like we're getting a story we haven't heard before. It's not like they're doing a sequel to Mulan, or like they're doing a prequel to Mulan, or like they're doing something within that kind of universe to expand on the lore of Mulan.
If they said it more during the war, like her adventures during the war, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah. It's not like this is adding anything that we never heard before. We're just doing something we've already heard. It's like someone came up to me and I know people say, well, we don't need any Star Wars movies. Well, yeah, but we haven't gotten a remake of A New Hope. I don't know people saying, well, the Force, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand what a remake is. Don't stop talking. Close your mouth. Learn a little. We've never gotten a remake of a Star Wars movie. So every movie they add adds to the universe. It's necessary because it adds something. This adds nothing. Nothing to that lore at all. Nothing at all. It's just redoing it. A movie that's perfectly fine on its own. It'd be much cooler if we got to see what she did during the war.
Yeah.
During the fights. The only thing that touched on that was Kingdom Hearts. And let's be fair. Not a great series. And didn't do much for it. Moving on. For those of you wanting to know about how the sinking ship is going, pretty good. The Batman did get a new director. Well, for the front runner, it seems like we're going to get the director Matt Reeves. If you don't know who that is, he directed the Planet of the Apes prequels that we're getting. By what I mean Planet of the Apes prequels, I mean I go every night and I say a prayer to his name because he is a god in my eyes. I love him. It's nice to hear that he's going to be on here, but the problem is this is a sinking ship. And on this sinking ship, Ben Affleck has expressed that he desires to leave it soon. He does want to leave the role. Now, a lot of people are saying that, like, oh, well, wait. That's a rumor. I'm like, no. It's rumor. He may not get out of the role, but make no mistake. He wants out. He wants out of this role. If he does make the Batman, that's the last one. He'll just look at the Batman. That's it. He's done. He's clearly done. People have made very clear he is done. He is trying to just get out now. I don't know if he'll offer to get a buyout, but he's in talks with DC to leave. Now, whether he is whether that means that he's going to get out, that's anything. But he does want out. Why? Because Ben Affleck, a talented director, talented writer, talented artist in general, sees a sinking ship, and he's like, done. I made my last two films weren't good. I know a bad film when I see one. I'm jumping.
Yeah.
The Accountant should have been good. Very disappointing. Yeah, the news is that Matt Reeves is the front runner for the newest Batman movie, which might not even happen. Ben Affleck does want to leave the role. It's a sinking ship, guys. Come on. At least the Batman movie is a sinking ship. Like, it's got too many holes in it.
Yeah, but you can't have a DC universe without a Batman.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I still just get a new Batman. But if they can't even hold a Batman, can't even keep...
I swear to God, if we get George Clooney again.
Hey.
Don't you do it, Christian.
No, sir.
Don't you do it.
No, sir.
No.
George Clooney was a bad Batman.
You stop right there.
Batman and Robin.
You know what you did.
Was an entertaining film.
You know what you did.
I will. You can send all your hate mail. You can go on to the Collectors Coalition discussion board, and I'll have a fair discussion with you all. CollectorsCoalition.com, and I'll have a fair discussion with anybody who wants to argue it. That movie's funny and entertaining. Poorly acted, for the most part. There are some actors in there that are gold. Anybody who wants to sit here and tell me that that Mr. Freeze was not the best part of that movie, you are wrong. He was the best part of that movie.
No.
I will fight for this. I love that film. I don't love it, but I like that film. It's great. It's funny. It's entertaining. I'll fight for it, man. And then also some of the pitchmen that say The Dark Knight Returns is... Dark Knight Rises, because they can't... Dark Knight 2 on the nose is the stupidest... is the worst Batman film ever made. Period. It's terrible.
It is really bad.
It's awful. I hate it.
Why do I own a copy?
So...
Because I hate myself.
I mean... Let's get out of the sinking ship. Let's go into a ship that's sailing strong. Injustice 2 has confirmed 3 new playable characters with their newest trailer. These characters are Swamp Thing, Cheetah, I know Mario's excited for this one, Brainiac.
My boy.
Yeah, I'm so hyped. It sounds awesome. I love Swamp Thing. Cheetah's a cool addition. It's going to do some really cool combat. Probably a little too
the Kaluan Collector.
And they're probably a little too similar to Catwoman, in my opinion, but we'll see how they do it. And then Brainiac, man. I wonder how they're going to do Brainiac. And remember, all these characters, they play into the story of the game. Remember, the first one had an actual thematic story. And this one, they said, we're ramping that up to 11. That was at level 8. No, we're going to put that all the way up. We're going all the way with this. I'm like, yeah, do it. I'm all in. I'm 100% in. I loved Injustice. I don't even like fighting games all that much. I do like Street Fighter and Tekken a little bit, but I don't even like
those are good games.
I don't like Mortal Kombat. I never have. I don't like the controls. That's my thing. Actually.
Yeah.
Fighting games live. A fighting game live and dies with its controls. I just don't like the controls to Mortal Kombat. I don't think it's bad. I just don't like them. But I liked Injustice. It's funny because it's very similar. I just think it feels a little different. But man, I'm pumped. This is a great announcement. I'm really excited. That is just awesome. It does be interesting because I believe the story of Injustice 2 is called Lines Drawn or Lines Redrawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious how these characters play into it because Swamp Thing, I can see helping Batman, and I can see helping Superman, because they're going to separate them.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
It would make the obvious winner would be whichever side of Batman and Superman on it. Now, you still make the argument with the obvious side of winner is whoever has Superman on it. But to be fair, there's a lot of moments in the comics where Superman's wrong and Batman's right.
Yeah.
And Batman's strongly in the right. There's more times it's the other way around. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to defend it. Superman's usually right. Now, Batman's usually intellectually correct. Batman's always intellectually correct. But Superman's usually morally right. Let's put it out there. But to be fair, Injustice has made a Superman who isn't a good person. Who's a bad guy, which is really interesting and really fun. I know this is a common thing, but he calls himself Superman. He doesn't call himself Ultraman. He calls himself Superman. He is a bad Superman. Not Ultraman, a Superman, which is really cool. Also, he's basically like comic Superman, except for like one little change, which I find also really interesting. I really love Injustice. I think I love the first game. I'm really excited for the second game. I hate how if I want to play with Darkseid, I have to pre-order because I hate pre-orders. They're stupid.
Says the guy who pre-orders everything.
I have to. They come with content that I want. There's certain games you have to. They put you in a box. They release limited numbers in the beginning. That way you have to pre-order. It's stupid. I don't think you understand how many times I've walked into my GameStop, saw the pre-orders, the pre-orders for the day, like the games that just came out that day, because we usually get them that morning or the night before, and we see that box of games, and I'm like, that's not enough to sell the copies we need. This is just enough for the pre-orders and a couple other extra copies. That's all they're doing. Like Final Fantasy 15 was a horrible offender about that. There's just enough for our pre-orders and a few extra copies. We ran out instantly because of false scarcity. They do that to make it seem like you need a pre-order. It's stupid. I hate it. I hate the concept. Speaking of concepts that I hate, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel film Leatherface is apparently ready for release, but Lionsgate is hesitant, claiming that they do not know if they will actually release the film due to complex continuity issues with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Now, I like how this is the film they start questioning it. Not even producing. It's done. This movie is done. And now they're starting to question the problem with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. What was your first clue? The last 4 films, maybe? Everything past the original one, which is a masterpiece. Like,
I love how they filmed it. They edited it.
I know.
They have it all put together. It's ready to hit theaters. And they're just now like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
It's like
you threw money away.
It's like the Friday the 13th movie. They've already have it pretty much done. Everything's ready to go. They're pretty much ready to go with this.
Couldn't you tell that this was going to maybe screw with your continuity if you read the script?
Couldn't you have told 3 movies ago your continuity was bad? I'm like...
How much money did you spend making this movie when you could have, for free, read the script and like, this isn't such a good idea. Let's save the money and put it towards a project that might actually make some money.
It's not like you pay your writers anything. It's not like you give them any money at all. It's not like you pay them a wage that's like worth it. It's not like you're losing money by paying a writer and not using the script. You know how often that happens in Hollywood? Do you know how many, like, I've met a couple directors before who worked. I actually met a guy who I believe was one of the writers to the original the Bad Hulk movie.
Oh, that one.
I met one of the writers. Nice guy. He actually made a bunch of films that I really enjoyed, surprisingly enough. And he told me, yeah, you don't know how often that you write a script. I mean, I've written like at least 100 scripts, like 6 of them being movies. They bought all of them. That's how often that happens. That's how rare it happens. And sometimes you'll randomly get a writing credit because they took your script and changed it in 100 ways. But essentially, you wrote the original script to the original movie. They changed it. And you don't even know it's being released. Writers are treated horribly in Hollywood.
I mean, if they want to pay me for stuff, go ahead. But at least do something with it.
You're not losing money by not making a film. Paying for a script, not making it, you're not really losing money. You're gonna make that money back in your next big budget, and it's Lionsgate.
You're sitting on it.
I mean, Lionsgate is known for their really good horror films. Lionsgate's known for just making money off, not necessarily the best movies, but they make money. Yeah. You know, they're not a small company. They do a lot of they make a lot of buck. They make a lot of money. They should be proud of that. I just don't.
What was that one movie they put out? Forbidden Kingdom, Hidden Kingdom.
What was it about?
I don't remember. I just remember the title. It was like a kung fu movie.
I mean, they made the Saw films.
That's true.
Yeah. And I'll fight that the first 3 Saw movies are awesome. They're great. They're great movies.
He saw them.
I did. I saw them. I've seen Saw. I've watched Saw 1, 2, and 3 consecutively about a couple dozen times. I pretty much remember every beat of each movie. I just think they're really good. I really like them. Not the best, but they're really good. It'd be one thing if, like, hey, we're in pre-production. It's just we really just don't feel confident. Like, we've got everything ready, but after a lot of time and thought, we realized this isn't the best. I mean, we need to figure out anything through franchise. That's one thing. Pre-production is one thing. Production, it's annoying. It's pushing it because you already got the people working. They're already there. But hey, you're gonna save some money. But you have the film ready for release. It's ready to go. It's ready to be put out. Listen to me. If you are listening to me, Lionsgate, I can guarantee you're not. But if you are, hear me out. Just release the film. Don't release it in theaters. Release it online for streaming services. Release it online. People to watch online, pay for online. Charge like $5. You don't think you're making money back on it? You're not. Fine. Charge like $7. You know what? Charge $20. I'll pay it. I'll pay $20 for a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I'm stupid. I'll pay it happily.
I'm gullible.
I mean, I love the series. I don't like any. I like one of the movies in the series, but I like the character, so I'll pay for it. Fine. Just release it. Release it online. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You already don't want to release the movie. You get to skip theaters. You get to save everyone's time with the theaters. We can watch it online on our own time. Put it on streaming services. Make some money off there, and there you go. What are you really losing on?
Either way, you're not going to make back the money that you spent on this movie.
Yeah, if you're not confident enough to put in theaters, just put it online. If it's done, it's done. The damage is done. Just do it. Just get it over with.
Pull it off like a Band-Aid.
Because like the worst comes to worst, the worst thing that happens, no one likes it like you thought, and no one wants to talk about it. But at least we all appreciate that you didn't make us go see it. You didn't waste our time by putting it in theater, making a big show of it. You just put it out online and said, here you guys go, enjoy. And best case scenario, the movie's fantastic. We love it. And you start a trend of putting these films online. You make your money back and then some, and you maybe even change Hollywood a little. Like what are you losing by not putting it in theaters? Money? You're already losing money.
Yeah, just cut out the middleman.
Just do it. Just get it over with. I mean, I'm an advocate of we really should cut out theaters for the most part. Theaters should be more selective what they put in what they show. They should be more selective based on, like, do they think they make a profit off this? Yes or no? Because they don't make much money off it already.
But then we would be out of jobs that don't already pay. We're not getting paid for this.
What can you do? I mean, I don't think they should disappear. I just think
this is a horrible investment, Christian. We're losing more money than we're making on this show.
Dude, I lose. If you all knew how much money I spend on this show monthly, it's actually kind of stupid. But I have hope. This is going to be great. We're great. You're great. I bet on Mario. When people tell me that Mario's in the playing, I double down on him. You're welcome.
What?
So
don't bet on me. I'm not a good candidate. I'm a terrible
So
runner.
yeah, it just makes no sense why they would just not release it. It's stupid. And this is like really complex continuity issues. There was complex continuity issues within like the second movie.
Yep.
I just don't get it.
Oh well.
Yeah. Here's one that Mario is really mad about, and it's gonna be a lot of Mario getting really angry, and then it's gonna be me really getting really angry because it's politics, and I'm sorry. And surprised I'm thinking politics, and it's not just Christian. Oh boy, American Horror Story season 7, the show that really has gone past its prime of this season 1, has been confirmed to be based on the 2016 presidential election.
This is really stupid. This is really, really stupid. And you know what? I don't like Trump as much as the next person with a normal functioning brain. And yeah, I don't care if I offended you by that. Trump is a horrible, horrible person to be in office right now. He is going to pretty much screw over everything that we love about this United States. Okay?
But I don't think it's that bad, but I do think it's bad.
He's doing a lot of things that are already starting to just...
He's signing executive orders. Executive orders are really overly complex IOUs. They mean nothing. They're paper, just throw it away.
But the things that he stands for, I don't agree with one iota.
I agree.
He is a horrible person to be in office. Mm-hmm. He knows nothing about the job.
Absolutely agree with you.
He has no idea what he's doing.
110%
He is a buffoon in a business suit.
I have seen monkeys smarter than him, yes.
But we really need to stop with this dystopia crap. First, the Michael Bay produced film. Fine. Whatever. Only chumps are going to see that. And you know, we're probably going to end up having to see it too, because it's going to be bad. You know it is. Because it's going to be so heavy-handed in its BS political ideology that it can't see past its own freaking face.
Can't see past its own bullshit.
And now this. Seriously. Like, the political election from 2016 was...
It was a joke.
It was a joke. It was a massive joke, and we were the punchline.
Could it be great? Could it be a great comedy? Absolutely. I'd laugh my butt off. Be hilarious.
Okay. I'm just tired of every single piece of media waxing political. Stop already. Let me enjoy something for once.
I was talking to a coworker today that I started making the jokes. I turned on TV and watched Trump news. Because what television become? Trump news.
Yeah.
Because media, because I'm gonna use a term that I know people hate, but liberal media, because it's what it is. It's liberal media, hasn't realized that Trump won because of how much they covered him. Mm-hmm. It's their fault he won. Instead of just saying, all right, we're only gonna talk about him when it's necessary, like the immigration executive order, absolutely un-American, completely terrible, horrible. How dare he say that immigrants can't? How dare he say that people with green cards can't come in? No, you're wrong. I'm sorry, but how dare you? That being covered as much as it was, yeah, absolutely. The Women's March being covered during his inauguration, the Women's March is a joke. It was a joke. It had no firm belief. Now, I know people are probably already stopped listening and are like, I don't want to hear you. But for people listening, look, I respect everyone's political view. I respect a Nazi's political view because you know what? At least you have an opinion. Is your opinion wrong? For some people, yes. I do believe there's such thing as a wrong opinion. I do think this exists. I don't believe that there's not a wrong anything. I believe there's wrongs in everywhere. I think there are wrong opinions. I think there are opinions that are just innately wrong.
Morally.
If you look at me and tell me the Earth is flat, you're going to tell me that opinion is right because of an opinion? No, it's wrong. There's facts to prove it otherwise. But here's the deal. All right? I actually lost track of what I was going to go with this. Just give me a second. Here's the deal. Is that there is a point. What I'm trying to ask is that understand that we recognize the medium we represent. The medium that we are a part of is a very liberal medium. We get it. I think that's a problem. I think how liberal this medium does not represent the society as a whole. I think it only represents a very small part of it. I do think it's an issue. I don't think it's as forward-thinking as everyone wants to say it is. Hollywood tries to claim how forward-thinking it is, and look how sexist it is. So don't let it fool you. These are just trying to pander to your money. Now, on that, I'm going to make a very heated point. Conservatives aren't bad guys. They're not. Are some conservative bad guys? Absolutely. But there are also liberals who are bad guys. There are really crazy liberals that do not know what they're talking about, that are blatantly insane, that would destroy this country, just like there are conservatives. Mitt Romney was not one of them. Joe Biden? Not Joe Biden. Whoa. John McCain? I don't know. I haven't. John McCain? Not one of them. Both of them? Pretty reasonable. Did I agree with either of them?
Some things.
I actually, with John McCain, agreed with a lot what he had to say.
Yeah, I did like John
How
McCain.
he said it.
Yes.
Now, people spin a lot of what he said, but I respect the man. I think he had a lot of really good points. I really respected him. I probably would have voted for him. Nothing against Obama. I just don't think Obama I don't think he had a plan. John McCain was very clear what he wanted. I'm like, I see your plan, and I respect it. I understand it. Mitt Romney, I liked, didn't respect as much as I did. I think that he had a clear message that I didn't agree with. I did agree with Obama in that election more than I did him, personally. So, that being said, the liberals have been trying, and I know this term is floated, the left wing. The left wing has been trying for a long time to make a conservative the comic book bad guy. They want the monocle, top hat, mustache and all bad guy. They've been trying for years. And unfortunately, they couldn't do it with Mitt Romney because he was a reasonable family man. They couldn't do it with John McCain because he was a war hero. He's a hero to this country, and he definitely represents everything that America.
Like a nice guy.
He represents everything America stands for. Do I agree with everything he stood for? No, but he's a war hero. I respected him. He
put his life on the line for this country.
George Bush Jr. I know a lot of people say he was an idiot. He was a smart man. His only issue was he was a do-nothing president. I'll give you that. He did not handle the Iraq War well at all. I'll give you that. But he wasn't a bumbling buffoon. They finally got their bumbling buffoon. Finally. It took them this long to finally get a buffoon they can finally rally against and say, this is the Republican Party. He is not the Republican Party. He is not the Republican Party. This is coming from somebody who the only reason I'm not Republican is because I do not respect the leadership at all. The only reason I'm not Republican. I respect the ideologies. More economic. I do not agree with a lot of the social views. I do not agree with the religious leanings of the party. It's a lot of party I understand and respect. I do not.
A lot of favoritism on that side.
Yeah. I cannot morally stand behind them when it comes to their leadership and who represents them and how they don't make an attempt to push that away. The fact being that Bill O'Reilly can have a voice is beyond me. It's beyond me.
Yeah.
It's astounding. The fact being that these crazy talk show hosts can have a voice. Same thing for liberals. I don't like Democrats. I just don't think their economic plan makes any sense. Their social policies are fine. A lot of them don't make sense, but their social policies are fine. Their economic policies make no sense. But I'm just saying, they have found their bad guy. They're going to milk it for everything it's worth. So I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to love that Michael Bay film. It's going to be trash. Why? Because Michael Bay's not a good director. People are going to love American Horror Story Season 7. It's like, oh, it's such a commentary. It's going to be terrible.
No, it's
going
not.
to be heavy-handed.
It's thinly veiled.
It's going to be like almost every season of American Horror Story. Very heavy-handed on what it's trying to say and does it in a very insulting, insensitive way. I know people don't like to hear these things. They want to believe that we have a bad guy finally. We can rally behind him, but we don't. Trump's an idiot. He is. But, and yes, the House and Senate are mainly Republican. But to be fair, a lot of people in there are very sensible. And to be fair, a lot of this is because Democrats have made their own bed. They've lied to us for years about these perfectly reasonable candidates. And now, what? They just expect us to believe them now? No, Trump's an idiot. His cabinets are a bunch of morons. But the problem is that the executive branch just has such little power that doesn't matter. You know, it just doesn't matter. I'm just asking you to think. Think about what this show is, whether this needs to happen, and whether you should really stand by it. You may not like Trump, but should you really stand behind this?
It's manipulative.
It's manipulative. And it's going to do like everything does. It's going to paint a picture of the people that voted for him that just isn't true. I know a lot of people voted for Trump. A lot of people I love and respect. Some people that I have the utmost respect for, and still have the utmost respect for, that voted for Trump. And
my father voted for Trump.
Yeah, and I understood why. I got it. So just understand. Just think. Don't let people tell you what to think. Think for yourself. Don't let the media tell you, oh, he's evil. Make that your own opinion. Do the research. Do the reading. Check the sources. I don't use fake news. I make a joke about fake news. I think fake news is a joke term. Just there to belittle people that you don't agree with. Just do your own research. Be your own person, and be the smart person that I know you are. I believe in you. I know you're smarter than what you think, than what you are, than what you believe capable of. I know you're a smart person that's capable of making your own opinions. I'm just asking you to do it. I really am. I really am begging you to just take a second and make your own opinion and look at things your own way. Do not let this show tell you how to feel. Do not let these people tell you how to feel. You are a person. You deserve to have your own feelings that you decide.
As long as you can back them up with well-reasoned argument.
I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to find your own view and find that, please. Just that's all I ask.
Be a person.
And if you think American Horror Story Season 7 is going to be the greatest thing on television, go ahead, man. You watch it. That's you. That's all you. That's the belief that you hold, not the belief that people tell you to have. Go ahead. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you're doing it. But if not, reevaluate and think, does this need to happen? Does this the person I need to be? That's all I ask. So I think we should move on.
Yeah.
To someone who's also incredibly heavy-handed, Mel Gibson.
I saw this and I thought it was an article from The Onion.
I honestly thought it was a joke. Mel Gibson is literally in talks to direct for director of the Suicide Squad sequel.
Why?
Because DC doesn't care, and they're throwing everything at the wall. Warner Brothers is throwing everything they have at us. Everything. They don't care. They're going to tell you every stupid bit of news that might get you excited. This one just makes no sense. Why get rid of David Ayer? He's not an idiot. He did fine. He recognizes the mistakes he's made.
The studio shot him in the foot more than he did.
Yeah, he recognized the mistakes he made and he's willing to move on. Good for him, man. Keep him on. Go for it. What are you talking about?
All Mel Gibson really has is like Braveheart and a snuff film.
Braveheart. Did he direct Braveheart?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a snuff film. Are you talking about Passion of the Christ?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
It was a snuff film.
It totally is a snuff film. Oh my God. I hope my mom's not listening to this because she likes that film. God, it's terrible. I watched Passion of the Christ finally. I actually watched it. I'm like, this film is an insult to the Christian religion.
It's not very good.
Just an insult.
Like, if you like it, that's fine. It's just I can't get into it.
It's just so insulting. I'm like, what is going on? Is there getting a sequel? Why? Why?
Jesus reloaded.
I'm back with a vengeance. No, it's actually about his back. He's come back into life. He doesn't need to have it. So yeah, that's happening. Apparently, that's news. That's apparently happening. God,
Jesus coming and taking out Pontius Pilate.
We really are saving the best news until the ending, because God, this next thing's a little bit of a palate cleanser.
Beating the crap out of Barabbas. They wanted you over me.
Moving on. Archie expands deal with Warner Brothers Television. The deal has been noted to help expand the Archie universe with new original programming and content based on Archie catalog of characters and properties. Mark Waid is also being promoted to a mentor role to help guide the direction of the publisher's creative team. Good for them. You haven't seen the show yet, which is surprising that I watched it before you.
Yeah.
I enjoy the show. I think season 3 was heavy-handed and a little dumb. There are things I liked in it.
Episode 3,
whatever. I think episode 3 is a little heavy-handed and kind of dumb. I don't know. I think episode 2 were fantastic. I think they're great. I enjoyed them. I love Archie, and I think it's exactly why I think those 2 episodes are why I love Archie. I do think episode 3 was a little dumb, but it had good moments, and I'm excited for episode 4.
I'm still waiting for the Punisher crossover.
I'm waiting for the Spider-Man crossover. I'm waiting for the Batman crossover, man. I'm waiting for the Scooby-Doo crossover that has the Harlem Globetrotters.
Give Archie an afro.
Oh God.
Give Scooby one too while you're at it.
There are issues with the show, but for the most part, the show's really entertaining and fun.
Yeah,
and cute.
I'm glad to see that he's
This cute moment.
he's back in the spotlight again. Because I like Archie, and people crap on him far too often.
I think there's a need for Archie right now. I think there's a need for that wholesome. What is it like to be an average American teenager?
Just a slice of life program.
Yeah, it really is. There's a need for that slice of life right now. I respect that. Next up on the list, writer Chip and artist Adam Kubert are teaming up to review the new upcoming ongoing series, The Spectacular Spider-Man. Is that the
Chip Zdarsky?
Is that the current series right now for Spider-Man, or is that a new series that's just started? Oh, it's coming up. Okay, I might have misread it, but yeah. Apparently the series is supposed to. Yeah, okay. There's a new series. The series is supposed to kick off with a special one-shot that'll be free for all comic book readers on Free Comic Book Day, which is on May 6th. The series will start up in June 2017. I don't care. I'm not picking it up. I'll get the free issue. But
yeah, I mean, a free comic's a free comic.
I just think it's just them trying to get anybody back on the Spider-Man books because no one's picking them up because they're terrible. Why read them? I tried when they did the new reboot. Yeah, I picked up the first. As I was in the show, I was reading it on here. I'm like, this is really interesting, and then like it fell off.
Wasn't Chip Zdarsky? I think that's how you say it.
I didn't say his last name.
Wasn't that the person that was doing that Squirrel Girl title?
I don't know.
Because I know they did Jughead.
I don't think it was the Squirrel Girl title. They're doing it. I don't think so.
Oh, Howard the Duck. That's right.
Oh, Howard the Duck. No, I definitely don't care. I have an ongoing hatred for Howard the Duck. I just can't stand him. I think he's terrible.
Oh, God, this is a long news segment.
Oh, we have two more, and that's it. Next up, Deathstroke will cross over with Titans and Teen Titans in a new upcoming May 2017 event titled The Lazarus Contract. I still don't regret dropping this title. The event will investigate the lingering questions spinning out of DC Rebirth. What is Slade Wilson's connection to the former Teen Titans? The event will be a 4-part crossover series containing the issues of Titans number 11, Teen Titans number 8, Deathstroke number 19, and the final issue titled Teen Titans Annual: The Lazarus Contract. It will be written by Dan Abnett, Benjamin Percy, and Christopher Priest, and art by Brett Booth, Koi Pham, Carlo, really hard to pronounce last name.
Pagluian.
I don't know. And Paul Pelletier. All 4 covers will be done by Mike McCone. Oh. Where they will flow into each other, creating one massive collage. The event will mainly focus on Deathstroke's attempt to resurrect his son Grant, the original Ravager, by hunting Titan member Wally West.
I'm just gonna pick up that one Deathstroke issue.
I mean, they've been building up the whole that from the beginning, but I don't care, man. Deathstroke issue was terrible. I'm interested in the story. I'm gonna pick up that one Deathstroke issue, and that's
just
it.
that one issue.
Just that one.
Everything else,
I can pretty much happily miss.
Yeah, because I like Titans and Teen Titans. Those are good titles. I just don't care about Deathstroke.
I like how big this one is. I like how these crossovers aren't like really. I guess huge is the word I'm looking for. Like they're not overbearing. I think they're
not
short-lived.
Doing like 5 a month.
They're not doing what they used to do, which was for the next like 6 months we're getting this giant crossover that no one wants.
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Or like for 2 or 3 months we're gonna have for 2 months we're all gonna do this one storyline that isn't even good, and we're just desperate to make something. I want you to guess which one I'm talking about. Come on, New 52. The worst crossover they did. Was originally going to be a soft reboot and they chickened out.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time remembering.
There were multiple Superman, multiple Batman.
Oh, Convergence?
There you go.
Well, that laid the groundwork for the reboot.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. That brought back
I see what you're saying.
Pre-Flashpoint Superman.
I see what you're saying. That could have happened without Convergence. Convergence was a terrible story that didn't need to happen. All right.
Well,
it was a waste.
The author was a terrible author.
Waste of everyone's time.
At least we got Superman back.
And I just like how they're just like, okay, we know what people want in crossovers. We know what people don't want in crossovers. Let's not well, let's just slow it down. Let's give people what they want. Let's take it easy. Fine, I'll take that. It's cool with me. Other than that, I'm interested to see where that goes. What they do with it.
Yeah.
Good story. Really interesting. We'll pick up that one issue of Deathstroke. Following the event of Tom King and David Finch's I Am Bane, a great Batman arc, Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan, the original creators of Bane, will be returning to write their brute of a Batman villain in an upcoming 12-issue miniseries titled Bane Conquest.
I'm buying it.
The series will be released on May 3rd, 2017, where it will follow Bane, who takes his trio henchmen Bird, Trog, and Zombie into other cities besides Gotham to conquer and dominate different enemies. 12-issue miniseries. With the original Bane creators. When I first heard this story, I cried. I'm so happy. When was the last time these two did anything together? When was the last time they did anything with Bane?
I don't know.
Since he was created, that's the answer.
I don't know.
I'm really excited. These are talented, professional, great writers who make great work, who do great things. I love them. They're awesome. They do a great.
Awesome.
They've already released. Like images of what it's gonna look like the panels without the words, just the pictures and whatnot. Yeah. It looks like classic Bane, man. Classic style Bane. I am so into this. I am so for this. It's a classic Bane look with a new Bane story with a duo that made the character know the character better than anyone else. I am all pumped for it.
Now, is this part of like regular continuity, or is it just a side-off thing?
Part of regular continuity. It takes place right after this Batman arc, apparently.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm all pumped. It's 12 issues. It's a whole year.
An
issue a month. I'm all in. I'll put my hat down. Throw the hat down. Let's do this. I'm wearing a hat. Throw the hat down. For those of you who...
It's a beanie.
Yeah, none of you can see it. Pick my hat back up. Put my hat back on.
What a nerd.
Let's do this. I'm excited. I'm all for it. I'm all in. I'm 110%. I'm doubling down on this book. I believe in it. I believe in this book. I believe in the Bane.
He's probably going to buy all the variant covers, too.
I'm considering it, actually. Depends on who they get for variants, man.
I know you you do love some Bane.
I almost bought 2 Wildstorm books this week.
Yeah, you did.
I almost did.
You did.
But
It's okay,
No. I almost bought 2... Not Wildstorm. I had to buy Wildstorm. I almost bought 2... Actually, it was on the comics list. Let's find it real fast.
I thought it was the Wildstorm.
No, it wasn't Wildstorm because I got the Jim Lee cover.
Oh.
Is it not on our list? And it should be Mother Panic. I almost bought 2 Mother Panic.
That's right.
Because I got the variant, which looked really cool, but no, I got the actual cover, which looked really cool. But there's a variant with her and Batwoman, and I'm like, should have gotten that one, man. That was awesome. And then John, Document 94, we get all our comics. Up in Coconut Springs, Florida. Visit them if you ever come into Boca Raton. Awesome as he is, he's like, you just go ahead and switch one out for the one you want. I'm like, no, John, I made this decision. I stick by my bad decisions to the end, to the brutal end. Yeah.
What a nerd.
I know. I don't usually buy variants. It's very few times. The only time I actually bought variants, the most recent was Rebirth. I bought every variant of Rebirth except for one because I couldn't afford it. I couldn't find it. It was the cheapest I could find for $80. I'm like, that's not
was that the sketch cover midnight release? Yeah.
I'm still looking for it, but I can't find it for cheap. It's been a slow hunt. I really want it.
It is nice.
I love that. I love that one issue. It's just so good. So interesting. So entertaining.
It blew my mind.
It did.
We had to step out of the store to express our enjoyment of the book.
We actually hugged each other. We were so happy. Okay.
Well, let's jump into the comics then, since that sounds like a natural progression point. First up, we got Archie number 17, written by Mark Waid and art by Joe Eisma. It's good.
I'll catch up one day.
We kind of end the whole Veronica being in another country arc, and it ends well. It's good. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that's gonna read this book. Just know that it's good, and if you aren't reading it, you should be, because...
Okay, Mario, I got what you're saying. I should be reading it. I understand. I know I have the copies that you gave me.
I read it after my Superman books. That's how much I enjoy it.
I have a very clear reading list. It's just actually kind of weird.
We'll so do I. I do it from most.
Maybe we'll talk about it one day. But I have a very clear reading list every week. It's like I have a formula.
Oh, I know you do. I just do it from books that I'm going to enjoy the most to books that I'll enjoy the least.
Formula.
Next up is Aquaman number 17, written by Dan Abnett and art by Scott Eaton. It's good. I liked this one.
It was good. I don't know. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the now then thing. Yeah. I think an Aquaman was done pretty cool, where it was just like the beginning, where it was, where it is, just kind of eventually just met up. Eventually, I'm like, that's
like
neat.
That.
That's
like
a
villain.
neat
Cool.
concept. Yeah, it's cool. He's a new villain, isn't he?
I don't know.
From what I understand, I don't know. I have to look him up.
Either way,
it's fine.
It caught my interest.
Is this another long-going story, or is it going to end soon?
I think it'll end soon.
I don't think I can handle another long.
I can't see it
stories.
lasting very long.
I can't see them doing another long giant story like that. They really just let this be a short. Let this be a breath of fresh air. I really think we just need a single standalone issue for this book. For how we've had a huge story that just finished. Can we just get a breath issue, please? I'm begging you.
Like Aquaman just chilling out with his dog. Yeah,
kind of cute.
I would buy that for the standard price.
I'd buy that for $1.
Next up is Batman number 17, written by Tom King and art by David Finch. It was okay.
Shut up! Shut your mouth!
It was really
You will
good.
not be allowed to talk in my presence. That blasphemy. Okay,
it was good. I liked it.
If Batman number 16 showed how good of a writer,
your leg.
how good of a writer King is to the Batman series, that is continued in 17, and 17 proves why David Finch should always be the Batman artist. My God, the art in this book was something to behold. His Bane is perfect. Excuse me. He had the splash page that I went for the poster. I'm waiting for the poster. It looked perfect. It's one of the best looking Batmans I've seen in a long time. I'm like, that's an excellent Batman image right there. I want that as a poster. I'm gonna hang it above my face when I sleep. That way, every time I go to bed, I get to look at it. And to the left of it is still the Jim Lee Batman stance where he's on top of the gargoyle, because that's still cool as hell looking. This was an amazing book.
I liked it.
This book,
it was good.
Was fantastic. These 2 issues have cemented. I love this story. I am all into this story. I am 110% into this. Like, this is what everything's been building to. Everything King's been laying groundwork for. It's been building to this, and I'm excited.
I'm really glad, because I thought that they were just gonna leave Gotham Girl as just like
nope,
a character.
That's not how Batman runs.
Nope. They're doing something with it.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it. That's what Batman does. That's how Batman rolls.
Freaking Alfred.
God, just pick up 16 and 17. No context.
What I could have done with Leah.
It's what's really. But here I am playing Amadeus Arkham. God, I love. What? You don't even have to read the previous books. 16 and 17 give you all the information you need.
Yeah.
There's some little confusion, like who's Gotham Girl, but really you know it's somebody who's been hurt. And you know who Psycho Pirate is? You're fine.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's excellent. It's an excellent.
And even if not, you kind of get the gist of what his power set is or what his abilities are.
Oh man, I'm just. I can't wait 2 weeks. Can we have it next week? Can we get it next week? Can we get it next week? Mario, can we get it next week, please?
I want it next week.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
I like this book more than Detective, but I do like both.
I like Detective preferred team book that it is.
Yeah, I just like having Batman adventures.
God, it was so good. Batman's just, oh my God, that ending bit. Oh my God, jeez. This book is a ride from beginning to end. The very beginning, I thought they killed someone. I thought they killed 2 people off in the beginning of the book. I'm like, oh my God, book, why? And then you realize, then you get more into it. You're like, oh my God, that's why. Oh my God, why, book, why?
My boy is in this book too.
Yeah, Stoops is in this book, and I respect Superman.
How the hell did he get in the Fortress of Solitude? Superman has that really heavy key to enter the Fortress of Solitude.
I'm sure that there's ventilation in the Fortress of Solitude for Superman.
Superman doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Are you high?
He can hold his breath, sir.
I'm sure there's a way. Wouldn't it be really cool if they revealed, because original Superman actually gave him a way in without having to need a key?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's probably a way.
Oh well.
I like how Clark doesn't even question it. He just sees Batman like, oh, okay. Oh. I figured as much.
Oh, you're here. Next up is Batwoman Rebirth #1, written by Marguerite Bennett and art by Ben Oliver.
Have you seen this? Did you read this?
No.
It's pretty good.
I'm not a big Batwoman person.
It's pretty good. I don't know how it's not great. It's not perfect. I like Batwoman as a character. I like how this tells you everything you need to know why she is the way she is. It very clearly is trying to introduce new readers as the character, but still giving the old readers like a little more context to what this Batwoman entails and what matters to this Batwoman, which is nice. It's cool. It's fun. It's interesting. I like it.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, honestly. It's a good book. If you if you like strong female characters, Batwoman's always a good start. Pick it up. I mean, honestly, just it's like what, $2.99?
Yeah.
Just pick up the book. Just pick up the book. Read it. Do you like it? Yeah. Well, pick up the next one. If you don't, no. The Rebirth things are really cool because they give you at the very end 3 panels of a what's to come kind of thing to give you an idea what's coming next, which is really neat. But I mean, you don't have to read it if you don't. I'm just saying it's just $3. Go and grab it. If you like it, good. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. No one's going to judge you for not liking it. I get anybody who doesn't like this book. It is very geared toward the Batman audience. But I think it's cool.
It's fine.
I like it a lot. Yeah, it's good.
Next up is Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye #5, written by Jonathan Rivera and Gerard Way, and art by Michael Avon Oeming.
I like it a lot. I really, really like it. I think it's really interesting. Cave's daughter is a free spirit. It's kind of cool to see those people again. It's really cool. Everything that's happening is really interesting. The book's art's a lot of fun. The book's story is a lot of fun. It's very fascinating. I love Wild Dog. They get into more of like why Wild Dog is what he is. And for those of you who know Wild Dog as a character, you know there's a lot to break down with him. They give you a lot emotionally for Wild Dog, which I really appreciate. So you give you a lot emotionally for Carson too. There's just reconnecting with his with parents-in-law, his in-laws, that after his wife died. It's really interesting to see that go. And I like it. I would really enjoy it. I think it's a fun book. I think it's definitely worth the pickup. It's only 5 issues in. I would say if you can, get it from the beginning, or just wait till the first trade. It's fun, it's interesting, and I'm enjoying myself.
Good. Next up is Green Arrow #17, written by Ben Percy and art by Otto Schmidt.
I like this book. I have mixed feelings about the ending. I just feel like the ending just kind of happens. And I'm just like, well, obviously something was going to happen because they couldn't just end it that way, I guess. But, I mean, it's dumb, but whatever. Do what you need to do. Fine. Good book. The Green Arrow series has been pretty excellent every issue. I don't know. It's just the ending of this book, man. It's a little disappointing, actually. I'm like, oh, but couldn't you be like, God, couldn't it just be done better? Or like, there's so many different ways that could have happened. There's no reason that needed to happen that way. But fine. Okay, I guess. Whatever. That's cool. I'm fine with it. It's still a good book. It's still a fun series. I still say pick it up. I say definitely pick up the first volume. Make your judgment then. It's a good issue. I liked it a lot. Art's good. The Malcolm Merlin, Oliver Queen fight is pretty cool. It's interesting. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Next up is Green Lanterns #17, written by Sam Humphries and art by Eduardo Pensica.
When was the last time we had Scarecrow as a Yellow Lantern?
I don't remember, but I enjoyed this.
Was it Blackest Night?
Maybe.
Or was it Brightest Day? Maybe it was the last Lantern War.
We're asking Austin, and he doesn't remember. Blackest
Night? I thought so. It's been a while. It's been a while since we saw him as a Yellow Lantern.
It works. I like it.
I don't. Where'd they have his lantern ring last time? So he never lost the ring. He just got taken away from him and got put in like some box thingy. I don't remember. It's fine.
I liked it.
It was only.
We get some character development for Simon.
It was only 2 issues, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Only 2 issues.
I know.
Only 2 issues. It needed a 3rd issue.
I know, but we
really needed a 3rd issue.
I know.
We really needed a 3rd issue.
I know, but we get some character development for Simon.
I'm being too quiet. It needed a 3rd issue. It needed a 3rd issue, dude. I'm sorry. It needed a 3rd issue. I'm whispering it because I don't want you being disappointed in me. Bob is looking at me with a very irritated face. I'll stop now. needed a third issue.
Yeah.
It just did. It's just not as interesting as it
I
could have
liked
been.
it.
It's fine. It's fine.
I had fun.
It's fine. It's short. It's too short.
I had fun.
They didn't explore the concept nearly well enough.
I had fun.
I know you had fun, but you're gonna tell me that they explored that concept well enough.
I had fun.
As a Mario, no, they didn't, but I don't want to give you the satisfaction of
I
telling
had
you no.
fun.
Yeah, there it is.
I like this title though.
Yeah, it's a good title. It's a great title. Book is a little bit to be desired.
I do like how we're actually shifting focus from Jessica to Simon. We're
Mhm.
kind of giving him some time to develop and grow as a character because we've already done Jessica for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I don't like Jessica. I love Jessica. She's a great character. I just think we need to spend a little bit more time with Simon
Yeah, I agree.
because he's got a lot of problems too.
Agreed.
Anyway, next up is Justice League number 15, written by Brian Hitch and art by Fernando Pescerin.
Okay. Time shenanigans.
I like time shenanigans.
Fine. All right. How long is this story gonna last? Another next issue? It's over. Cool. 2 issues from now, it's over. Fine. Is it a long actual story? All right. Maybe this might be interesting concept to explore. I bet you $10. Next issue, the issue after it's over. And that's gonna be the story. And that's my problem. This is an interesting concept that will not be fully explored because Brian Hitch will not write a full story for us for some reason.
Yeah.
Then again, it might be a good thing because when Brian Hitch writes full stories, they kind of really lose focus. It's a double-edged sword, man.
I was mad at your boy.
My which boy? Batman?
Yes.
Why?
Because he started again on Soup's case for not doing anything during the Row incident, but he knew darn well why he couldn't. And they had resolved that issue last issue.
Yeah, man.
No,
When
it's
it comes
bull.
to- when
It's bull. Batman can't let anything go. He's still brooding over the death of his parents. He's a whiny
not
crybaby.
brooding. He's not brooding over the death of his parents.
I joke.
To be fair, in his defense, when it comes to Kryptonians, Superman is the only one out of everyone on Earth that really understands what's going on other than Supergirl. But let's be honest, Supergirl's too young and too inexperienced to really understand what she needs to be doing. Superman is our first line of defense. It's the person who is fully responsible when things go wrong. Batman has all the right to criticize him because Superman should be better than that, especially when it comes to his own people. Now, does that give Superman the right to be as much of a Batman as much of a right to be a D-bag as he sometimes can be? No, not the right. But
He
wouldn't
wouldn't have been okay with, hey, look, there's another Superman. Gee, probably setting up an armada to invade Earth or something. I don't know. He would have definitely sided with his own Superman. He knew that his Superman was capable of defeating him. He believed in that Superman. And then all of a sudden, pre-Flashpoint Superman shows up. He's not going to be okay with that.
Batman?
He was getting on our Soup's case for not showing up, but we knew he wouldn't accept it.
I hear what you're saying. Batman's a complicated individual. But
He's a butthole.
what he can accept and what the right thing to do is sometimes it's two separate things.
He's a butt.
He may not have been able to accept it, but it's still been the right thing to do.
Call him Buttman.
It's still been the right thing to do. Just gonna put it out there. Just putting it out there. Hashtag Batman's always right.
Hashtag Buttman.
Whatever. Let's move on.
Next up is Lucifer number 15, written by Richard Kadri and art by Lee Garbett.
Great book. Really awesome, as always. It's completely not for a conservative audience. Because my God, this book is blasphemous. The depiction they have of the Christian God, very specifically the Christian God, is really, really mean. And I mean really criticizing the religion as it is. And it's just, wow. All right. Woo! It is representing a lot of Christian-based beliefs in a very F-you kind of way. I'll hold that. I'll say Lucifer, for someone who's very conservative Christian, might not be the best book for you. You might be a little offended. But if you can put aside your own religious ideology, which I know a lot of people is hard, and I understand, I respect that. I can respect that fully. If you can, Lucifer's a great book. And 15, another addition to another great title, to another addition to this great title. Fantastic. Has not lost me yet. I'm 100% into it. I'm really enjoying it. But if you can't, I respect it. I'm not gonna lie, it is doing some things that I'm like, well, that's a little ballsy. Stop. Don't eat your mic.
I'm hungry.
Let's move on.
Next up is Mother Panic number 3, written by Jody Hauser and art by Tommy Lee Edwards.
It's cool to see. I can't remember her name. Whatever her name is, the main character of Mother Panic, and Batwoman talk. It was fascinating. It's interesting. They didn't innately think she was evil. They gave her a chance to prove herself, and she did. She didn't appreciate it. She didn't want to prove herself. She thought she didn't have to, which is fine. That's what you expect. The book's really good. The book's art's pretty great. It's a little weird. It's a little heavy-handed at times about what it's trying to say. I do like the main character a lot. I think she's very complex and very fascinating. There's this weird moment where she wanted to kill this guy but doesn't, and then goes back to kill him because she wants to kill. It's just really like, she is very obviously mentally having her own mental issues. She's very obviously emotionally unbalanced. She very obviously has gotten the dog traits from her mother, the genetic traits of being, maybe she might have the same problem her mom does. She might be kind of losing her memory. There's a lot of signs showing that she might not be all there, which is very fascinating. She might have herself some issues, and I'm very fascinated to see where they're going to take that story from now on.
That's all you got?
Yeah, it's very good. Really good.
Well, next up you got Nightwing number 15, written by Tim Seeley and art by McHugh Jung. I enjoyed this a lot.
Very cute prologue. I enjoy it. I think it's great.
Epilogue,
whatever. I enjoy it. I think it's great. I just don't know where they're gonna go from here. Like, they had this huge reveal, like the red Nightwing outfit at the end of the last issue, and I'm like, where's that going? It's like, oh, we're gonna do an epilogue. I'm like, I mean, great issue, but man, where's the red suit going? There's some great moments in this book. Nightwing talking to Starfire, Nightwing talking to Jason, Nightwing talking to Bruce. It's cool. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it.
It was nice. It gave you a little bit of a character moment, and you actually were rooting for these two kids.
The ending of this book, man, it's heartbreaking.
Oh man,
you're heartbroken by the end, though. You are heartbroken. You're like, no. But why? Don't get me all excited and then take it away. But yeah, it's good. It's a good book.
Well, what do we have next? We have Raven number 6, and this is the finale of the miniseries, and it's written by Marv Wolfman and art by Diogenes Neves. That's a weird name. I think it's a new artist for this book.
It's a cop out.
Yeah,
the ending's a cop-out.
It was we can do it because we're one with the universe and feelings.
And then no one remembers. Woo! For a book that was for a story that was pretty good, it was a really anticlimactic ending.
Yeah.
A really like, I'm like, what was she supposed to learn? That she needed people's help all along? Didn't she know that in the beginning? Didn't she go to them because she knew she needed a new family and help to like an actual family? I just feel this is a really weak book and just a really weak story. God, they could have done so much better with this.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away with it.
Yeah, neither was I.
Personally, what was the point of this miniseries?
Yeah, personally, a little disappointed. I feel like, you know what? If it was the first story to a comic line, to her own line, I think it would have opened up a really interesting story, and I would love to see where it goes. But considering it's only a miniseries, I am a little disappointed in them.
Yeah,
they didn't make a very cohesive. They didn't give me a reason why this needed to exist. If it was a comic line, if it was an ongoing series, I would be interested to see where it goes from here. But knowing it's not part of the universe, knowing that we're probably not going to get a continuation, and knowing that it just ends here. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in this book. I think it could be much better, and it wasn't. Raven's a great character, and you could have done more with her.
Yeah.
I don't think you're all bad. I just think that I think they were hoping that this would be so fantastic and so grandiose and so great. Everyone loved it so much that it would spark a series, and they would put it part of the universe. But the thing is that don't write like that. Write expecting it not to be, and then being pleasantly surprised when it is. Write expecting to only get a mini series. or write expecting to get an ongoing series. If you wanted an ongoing series and you didn't get it, write a miniseries. Do not just give me this ending that's open-ended and really anticlimactic and disappointing. I'm very disappointed in them for this. But yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Next up, we have Star Wars Poe Dameron number 11, written by Charles Soule and art by Phil Noto.
I thought it was really good, really fun. I'm really interested to see where the story goes to. The main villain antagonist, I always forget his name. Trek.
Star Trek?
Something like that. He's really interesting and fascinating, but his motivation is very off. It's very jumpy, I'm doing this because I'm a First Order person. I'm doing this because I want to. It's just his reasoning why he specifically hates Poe Dameron. It's not that it's not clear. It's not very refined. It's not very put together, I feel they want a lot out of this character, which is fine. Complex, fascinating character. A very fascinating, sheds a really interesting light into the First Order. But I think the dilemma comes down to is that they want to put a lot into this character now, and a lot of it's just kind of getting thrown on in the last second. There's some things that really stuck with me. Him having his own militia stuck with me. Him not being an official part of the First Order sticks with me. Him being a part of the Empire sticks with me. All of that together really jumbled. And tells this very strange, kind of out there story, which I think is fine for Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron's character, by the way, spot on perfect. Love it, great. Only issue I have with this book is the villain could be stronger, not because the villain is necessarily weak, but because the villain is necessarily put together well. I hope they fix that by the end of this arc, because I know this villain's not going to last the rest of the story. It's going to end in this arc, most likely. And I want to see where that goes. Very good, very fascinating. I love Poe Dameron as a comic line. I think it's very good, and I think it's very fun, and I'm really excited for the next issue to be its 1-year anniversary. It totally deserved it. Totally deserved it. Pick it up. Great story. If you loved Force Awakens, and if you love Poe Dameron, this is the book for you.
All right, well, next up is Super Sons number 1, written by Peter J. Tomasi and art by George Jimenez. It's finally here, Bean!
It's so good! It's so good! And Damien's a little turd, and John's a sweet little boy, and Damien's kind of corrupting John just a little bit.
Clark and his family play cards.
It was cute. It was very cute.
Before John goes to bed, they play a game of cards.
Peter J. Tomasi knew exactly what we wanted out of Superman's son and Batman's son doing superhero stuff together. He knew exactly what we wanted, and he gave it to us in full. He's like, I know this is what you're all looking forward to. Have fun. This is all a treat for y'all. This is a very where every book is getting kind of heavy and all this heavy stuff is being laid on us. Super Sons is that breath of fresh air. We're just having a good time, laughing, enjoying these two, growing what's going to end up being a very, very strong friendship. They are.
If Damien doesn't ruin it.
They won't. They're building.
Damien will ruin it.
They're trying to build a classic Batman-Superman relationship of these two very different yet very, very close people that respect and love each other dearly, and that will do anything for the other. And you're already seeing signs of it early. There's some funny things that happen into it. It's very Peter J. Tomasi, you're a fantastic writer. I respect you wholeheartedly.
So good.
You did a very, very good job.
John's such a good kid.
Georgie Jimenez is his name?
Jimenez,
you did a fantastic job with the art. I love your Damien. As someone who loves Damian Wayne, I love your Damien. I think he looks great. I love your characters. I like how you draw them. I like the fun cartoony style you're doing, and I think you're really capturing this feeling and the style of this book. I respect you. You did a good job, man. I'm all for it. Best part is, you don't have to read anything else to be in this book. This book, on its own, is perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be.
Just know that Superman and Batman have sons.
I think it's pretty easy to figure that out with this name, Super Sons. I love it.
Something that you'll find interesting, and it's kind of related to this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be doing the New York Toy Fair pretty soon. I'm pretty sure it's New York Toy Fair. But they have a leak image from one of the sets that's coming out from DC Collectibles. It's a 2-pack with Damien and John.
Really? Oh, I'm buying that all the way. That's totally going to be my
I'm buying it too.
That's exciting.
It's good. It's good. Pick it up. Next up is Superman number 17, written by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, and art by Sebastian Flumara. I had fun with this one.
So did I. I found it interesting that it's a Superman book where Superman isn't in it.
I know, right?
And I don't necessarily know how to feel about that per se, because in my Superman book I want Superman. Am I happy I have John? Yes. Now I'm gonna make a criticism here that's gonna sound a little bit weird because everything I did the last comic, but I feel like I have a book that's dedicated at least mostly to John. I don't need an issue in Superman doing it as well. Is this story good? Absolutely. Good single one shot? I loved it. It's great.
Oh, it's a great horror story.
It is. But, I mean...
Well, it kind of sets up Superman Reborn because
that's
the shadowy figure, I'm not going to spoil who it is, but it's a certain somebody that we've kind of been suspicious of and kind of thinking things about.
I respect that. We've talked about it a few times, haven't we, on this show?
We have.
I respect that. I respect where you're coming from. I think what they did was great. I think it was clever. I do think that there's a level of, like, in my Superman book, I like having Superman.
Oh, I agree. I was like, huh.
And I don't think it's necessarily criticism. I just think that when you go into this, understand that Superman is and isn't in it really at all until the very ending.
He's on the cover.
Which you shouldn't be at all. If the majority of your book is not, if your Superman is not in your Superman book, make the cover just John. Just do it. I love John, I do. But this is a Superman book. This is not Action Comics. This is Superman.
Yeah.
Action Comics, Superman universe, Superman lore. Superman. It's about him. It's his title. It's his name book. It's like a Batman issue that just talked about Damian. I would have the same criticisms. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think it's everything I wanted, but didn't need to be a Superman issue.
Fair point.
I just think it's my only criticism. Is it bad? No. Perfect. It's excellent. It's wonderful. There is a criticism, though. Did it need to be a Superman issue? The answer, I think, can be fairly is no. But where else were they going to put it? I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think I'd be fair if I didn't point out that I did have a criticism of this book. And that's it.
Okay.
Other than that, it's fantastic. It's excellent. It's really good.
Yeah.
John, I feel bad for him because he's probably really emotionally torn right now. Not understanding what just happened. He also takes it like a champ.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid. And he's such a little turd, though. He's such a liar. He's such a liar.
I love him, though.
I do, too.
Next up is Trinity number 6, and there's actually, I think, a little bit of misinformation on this. I guess, what would this be, a script? Well, it is written by Francis Manapul, but the art is definitely not Manapul. That is somebody else, unless they got it. Yeah, no, because I looked at the pencils was somebody different. Because this is totally not his style. In fact, I kind of like this better than his stuff.
Does, yeah.
Look at the
issue right now. Yeah, it.
Yeah, Emmanuel Lupacino.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, that happens, you know.
Yeah. Mistakes happen.
We'll make mistakes on this show a few times. Aside from that, it ended.
Yeah.
It's an ending. It's something. I mean, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's a cute ending.
It's got some good moments in it.
It's very cute. The very end is very cute. I just feel like this. I mean,
I dragged on.
I like the villain. I think the villain's underused. I think it's just kind of there. He could have been really anybody, and we would have been fine with it. If we're being honest, he could have been really anybody, and we would have been fine with it. There was no reason.
Yeah, just how exactly are you going from a dream to reality through Superman?
I was trying to naturally. I can't remember his name. It's hurting me.
Mongol.
That's right. It's killing me. I was trying to make you naturally say it. I'm like, come on, don't look like an idiot. But now look like an idiot. Thanks, Mario.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm ready for the next issue.
I'm ready for the next issue. I'm ready to get away from this story and on to something new and something different. And I'm excited for what's next.
Yeah, I mean, it's the story or the title has a lot of potential. I mean, we haven't had a Trinity line for a long time.
Yeah.
And you can tell a lot of great stories with that.
And I'm interested to see.
And this one wasn't bad. It was just
the teaser at the end of this issue was very fascinating. I'm curious where they're going with that.
It wasn't a bad story. It just the monthly thing and going on an issue too long kind of hurt it.
Yeah, it did. It kind of took the wind out of its sails a little bit, which isn't necessarily good for a book that just started.
Yeah. But I'm staying on it.
Yeah, so am I. I'm still strong on it. Batman's in it, so I'm probably gonna stay strong for. It's gonna take a lot to get me off this book.
Superman and Wonder Woman are in it, so it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, it's gonna take forever to get the three of my favorite characters are in it. It's gonna take a lot for me to get off this book.
Well, next up is the book that you picked up.
Yep.
I didn't pick this one up because I really don't care too much about it. The
That's
Wild
fair.
Storm #1, written by Warren Ellis and art by John Davis Hunt.
I really just like Wildstorm for like a handful of characters.
I know you like Grifter's all right.
I love Grifter. I think Grifter's freaking cool.
Oh, Midnighter's kind of cool.
Midnighter's also super cool. What's her name? She's in the beginning of this book too. I can't remember her name. There's a handful of really cool characters in Wildstorm. I love Warren Ellis as a writer. I do think Warren Ellis gets over his head though, very easily. He gets really behind because he gets over his head. I'm afraid that's what's going to happen with the story. But as a first issue, Ellis wrote a very interesting beginning of a story that I'm fascinated to see where it's going to go. And John Hunt, his art is amazing. It's perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. It's exactly what I wanted out of it. I'm enjoying it. It keeps me in the book. It keeps me excited. It keeps me interested. There is a moment in this book that it does drag a little, but then it kicks right back up. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm interested. I'm excited. Let's see where this goes. I might even have you borrow it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Okay.
I am interested to see. The fact being this is within the overall DC universe fascinates me.
Okay, so this is still going with the thing that like the New 52 thing where they put them in the DC universe.
Yeah, I mean, so is Young Animals.
Okay.
Everything is all connecting to one major universe, which fascinates me, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Wildstorm is an interesting book. It's a little heavy-handed at times, but it's good. It's a good start to a series. I think a lot of my issues is because they haven't been able to develop a lot of these characters, but because of that, I am very excited to see what they do with this. And next issue is supposed to have Grifter in it. I'm all in to see Grifter. Grifter's freaking cool. I love him. It's awesome. He's the reason I got into Wildstorm the first time. I'm excited. And Warren Ellis is a good writer, so I'm excited to see what he does with these characters. Well, everybody, that was our comics discussion. I guess the topic of the week was in the news, so right now we're about to get into everyone's favorite and our demise. Garbage Day.
Garbage Day!
This week's Garbage Day is 50 Shades Darker, or as we like to call it, 50 Shades Blander. It's written by James Fellow. It's written by an idiot.
Niall Leonard wrote it.
Directed by an idiot.
James Foley.
Written by someone who's incredibly boring, and starred by some schmucks. Schmucks. I do not care for this movie.
Nobody should.
The fan base this movie is pandering to didn't even like this movie. I actually felt uncomfortable going into this movie.
I did too.
I tried breaking the ice.
No. You told me, hey Mario, go find a seat. You go first, buddy. No. Up yours. Throwing your best friend under the bus like that. Bunch of middle-aged, horny housewives. It was like one 65-year-old man there with his wife, and you know they're gonna go and home they're gonna try some freaky stuff.
No, they're not.
Gonna break every bone in their body.
They're just remembering the good old days back when they tried what wasn't. I've done so much worse stuff than what was in this movie. I have done worse stuff.
Back when they tried doggy style for the first time. How innovative!
Ooh, look at me! I tied her legs. I spread her legs apart. Fascinating. I've done kinkier things. And I'm not very sexually promiscuous.
Just a heads up, this is probably going to be a little NSFW.
Yeah, spoiler warning.
Because this is I am not a prude.
Not safe for work.
I am not a prude.
I'm not either.
This movie was smut.
It was. When you have... Okay, what is porn? Porn is sex with no plot. What is this movie? Sex with no plot. And the sex isn't even good. It's bad porn. It's bad porn. It's boring, bad porn. That's what it is. That's all it is.
You're making a softcore porno film. At least turn me on, man. I'm a guy. I'm like 22. That isn't hard.
An extra piece of curvy wood could do the job that you couldn't do.
It's not good.
Sorry. I just don't. there's a part of me that makes me kind of happy knowing that the audience this is pandering to didn't even like it because it proves. The problem with the last movie, I watched 50 Shades of Grey too because I hate myself. The problem with 50 Shades of Grey was it had no plot. The problem with 50 Shades Darker, it had the starting to a lot of plot that never happened. So it also had no plot, but this one tried.
No, it didn't.
Just saying, it wanted a story. It asked for a story, and it was told no.
It's not good.
It is not good. Mario, I am sorry that I made you see this movie.
I told you it was going to be the worst reviewed film.
I thought the audience.
No.
I thought the audience.
You can't be right on that,
That
Mario.
it would pander to would come out in droves, and it wouldn't be the case. But apparently I was wrong. I'll take that. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Now,
you're welcome.
Critically, if we're looking at this through a film, through the eyes of people who worship and study film as an art form,
there was no art behind this.
The problem with this film is that it's not here. It doesn't need to be a movie. There's no reason to put this on screen. There's no story behind this film. The characters are bad. It's poor. It's very, very pro-abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Very, very pro-abusive relationship. I guess you could say
what reason does she have to stay with him?
Especially considering that that he's controlling, manipulative. He follows her. He tells her who to talk to, who not to talk to. He stalks her. Like, it disgusts me that people can enjoy this. For a second,
we thought we walked into a thriller movie.
There were a couple moments like, why is this suddenly becoming like? Why is this style design? You pointed out this has the same beats of an action film. If you take out all the sex, put an action fight scene in, it has the same beats of an action film.
Yeah, because usually when you're writing a run-of-the-mill action film, every 10 pages you got a beat of action.
Yeah.
This one, every 10 pages you got a sex beat.
At least something close to that, and it is done like an action film, and there's something to be said about that. That they obviously took a formula that works and thought it could work for them, and it did not work for them. I'm sorry, it didn't do it. Did not do the job. Leonard, you should be fired. James, you should be fired. Schmucks, you should be fired.
They put no emotion into it
at all. There's nothing here. I mean, what are we gonna tell you that you probably already know? This movie's emotionless. This movie's boring. This movie's bland. This movie couldn't turn on two horny young 20-year-olds. Come on! You couldn't do the easiest job in the world.
Man. No.
The easiest job in the world.
They go on and on about how he's such a sexual deviant. He's into all this BDSM stuff. You are having basic sex, sir. That is.
Like I told you, I have done dirtier things.
There's a bit where he says, "Oh, I guess I'm in a vanilla relationship now," and that kind of leads me to my next point. Oh my God, there's a moment where they straight up advertise Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's vanilla ice cream. I'm like, just stop, movie.
And Apple products. Jesus, how many Apple products were? He sends her like a laptop and an iPhone, and then everybody's got like an iPad and an iMac. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Just a MacBook or MacBook Air.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
The helicopter thing.
Oh my God!
We had a bet, right? There's this bit where Christian Grey.
Christian Grey gets into a helicopter accident. I look over to Mario. I bet you. I guarantee what's gonna happen. There's a news is gonna say, "Oh, no, we can't find him. He's dead." Yada yada. He's gonna come into the door and just look at the audience and say, "What did I miss?" And that'll be that. And it would have no purpose in the plot. It would just happen. It might push her, and it will push her to marry him. That's the convincing. That's all she's convincing she's gonna need. Something stupid and dumb. And what you said, okay, well, I think, what did you think it's going to be?
I said, all right, no, how about this? They're going to say, oh, no, we can't find Christian Grey. He's gone down in a horrible helicopter accident. And then 5 minutes later in the movie, we found him. That's exactly what happened. But he also walked in.
When the TV said, we found him, he opens the door and asks, what are you all doing here? And I swear to God, we looked at each other and said, All right, I guess we could both be right.
I guess we're at the point where we're really not trying.
And it was exactly what I said. What did it do? It pushed her to marry him. And I'm like, that is stupid. You are stupid. Stop being stupid. The only reasonable character was the villain.
Yeah.
Well,
quote unquote villain.
One of the villains.
Are we supposed to be rooting for these two people, this couple? Because that's not a healthy relationship.
No, it's not. It's not a healthy relationship at all. I just don't know what you want out of me.
No, I don't
like,
get. I do not get it.
In Garbage Day, we can usually give you a more deeper analysis of criticism.
There's nothing to analyze.
Even Rings gave us something to analyze, but this film gives you nothing, and you leave with nothing. And what did you expect? Did you expect something? You were wrong because you got nothing. Nothing. Good day, sir.
There's a bit where they go to a ball or something. I'm like, what is this? Eyes wide shut?
This movie sure doesn't have balls, that's for sure.
It's not good, and the thing that bothers me is that people are going to see this crap anyway. And it is crap, and I'm using the radio-friendly version of that because it is beyond crap. It is absolute smut. There is no art. There is no thought. There is no consideration for the audience. There is no story. There is no reason for this effing movie to exist. It is an absolute pile of trash. And the thing that pisses me off is that people are going to go see it in droves.
Yep.
And it's just going to keep putting... They're going to put
Preach,
the third
brother.
one out. You know they're going to put the third one out.
You preach, brother!
They put the second one out. They made a parody movie.
Oh, we didn't say for the after credit scene, but there is an after credit scene.
What?
And it's a trailer to the third movie.
Was there really?
Yes. We didn't stay. God knows
we got the hell out of...
Yeah.
There's a line in this movie, and you know what?
We allowed the trailers came on. When the credits came on, we were gone. We flew out of that theater. I levitated out the door. I was done. I was out of it. I was just.
It's this. Anastasia Steele is the single stupidest character I have ever seen in a
with
film.
the stupidest name.
Absolutely moronic.
Stupidest name.
This movie can go jump off a bridge.
Like I said, we would give you more analytics, but the problem is the movie. There's nothing here to break down. There's nothing here to look at. There's nothing here to analyze. There's nothing that they were doing with the film. They weren't doing anything with this movie. They just happened. I think there wasn't a cohesive plot. There wasn't a story. It was just people doing things. It's like
I felt dirty watching this thing.
I just felt uncomfortable because I feel like these people are just not good for each other. Just not good for each other.
There was a line in a song that they played, and it genuinely pissed me off. It's like, even Superman or Superwoman needed Superman's soul. Okay, I'm pretty sure this song wasn't written with knowing that Lana Lang was going to be Superwoman. So we can rule that right the hell out, right? Okay? We can rule that out. And yeah, there have been
The writer's a huge Superman fan, sir!
There have been other Superwomen, but you know what? Nobody remembers them because they were in like maybe 1 or 2 appearances.
Yeah.
And the only long-standing Superwoman is Earth 3 evil version of Wonder Woman. What the hell sense does that make? You can't go throwing around comic book references and not know what the hell you're talking about. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
It is. It is bad. I mean, I know what you're thinking, but it's comic books. But the problem is that like you just can't. It's like me throwing in like random. It's like a song throwing in ridiculous movie references. You're gonna call them out on it. It's like that's dumb. What are you doing? It's okay, Mario.
There's a line in here, and I kid you not. Oh, you're trying to seduce me with your kinky fuckery. Somebody wrote and said that line.
Yeah. It just sort of happened, and I don't...
Somebody got paid more money than I do in a lifetime to say and write that.
Just... It was a challenge getting through this movie, guys. We do it for you. We do it all for you.
Not even popcorn and candy could make this thing better.
I had a lot of popcorn and soda, hoping it would get better, but it didn't.
It did, and I wanted to die.
All right, guys. So let's move on. 50 Shades of Darker. Don't
50
see the
Shades
movie.
of garbage.
Just wait till it comes down deep. Just
Don't watch it.
Just if you have to see this film, because I know some people like me, I'm gonna see the third one. I'm gonna see the third one in DVD. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm gonna download it like a man.
No, we're gonna end up seeing it because it's gonna be the worst reviewed film of that week.
You're probably right. I have seen the first two, and I understand a lot of people are like that. I've already saw the first one. I have to finish the series. I respect that. I understand that I have the same problem. But hear me out. Wait until it comes out on DVD. Don't need to see it in theaters. Just wait until it comes out on DVD. Illegally download it. Illegally steal from them. They don't deserve this money. And watch it that way. Yes. Yes, FBI. I am sitting here saying illegally steal this movie. Watch it. You will not disagree with me. Just don't waste the money. I'm really happy that Lego Batman had a stronger first weekend because it proves that there is hope in this world. All right, guys. That was Garbage Day. The next conversation is also going to be a little soul-crushing for Mario because it's a very honest conversation. And we do take notice that we have been doing a lot of superhero films lately, and we are going to be sure to rectify that at least by next week. We will make sure we kind of get away from that. We do, for any of you thinking, we do recognize we're doing a lot of it, and we're going to try not to always do that. We're going to get some other friends. But I think there's a discussion I've been wanting to have with Mario for a while. With Justice League being the way it is, with all the news with Ben Affleck and everything, I think it's always good to go back where it started. So today we're doing the rewind of Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. Writer is David S. Goyer, starring Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, Diane Lane, Russell Crowe, and other people.
Harry Lennox, Christopher Maloney, Kevin Costner, Isla Zur, and Lawrence Fishburne.
He was making sure
I know this cast.
I know you do. Now, the reason why we're doing Man of Steel is that I feel like Man of Steel is a little harshly criticized for what BVS did. And I do not like Man of Steel as a Superman movie. Now, I think if we're being honest with each other, if we're being fair, me and you definitely have two different points of views in this movie.
We do.
Very different points of views. I'm going to let you go because I do think that your view is the one that's going to get beat on the most. Now, everyone understand Mario's a huge Superman fan. Understand the context behind Man of Steel coming out and with Man of Steel being at least mediocre. The last three Superman films, last three Superman films before this one were terrible. This is a Superman film that wasn't terrible. Now, there was some of those that I personally very much enjoyed, but this wasn't terrible. I think we could just take it off the table right now. This movie's not terrible. Anybody who thinks this movie's terrible, we know terrible movies. We've seen them. We live them. We breathe them. This movie's not one of them.
Our souls have been crushed by them.
Yes. If you think this movie is the worst thing to ever be made, get over yourself. You really just do. BVS is worse. Let's just put that out now. Man of Steel is the best thing within this universe. Man of Steel is one of the better movies that Superman's had in a long time. So, at least give Mario the respect to understand that that's where he's coming from. And this is why this is where he's going to come from. So go ahead, Mario. What's your point of this movie? After it's been some time, been a few years, now how do you... I know when this movie first came out, you loved it.
Yeah.
What do you think now?
I still really enjoy it.
Okay.
I've seen it at least 15 or 16 times.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on Blu-ray and DVD, and then
Your 20 copies.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I pre-ordered the soundtrack, which was the first time I ever did. The soundtrack is very, very good. The first time I ever did that for anything.
Yeah.
I really like it. It is a little bit more of a serious take on Superman, where he's a little bit more brooding and stuff. And I know a lot of that has to do with Christopher Nolan having his hands in the pot.
He's a producer. I honestly think it has to do with Zack Snyder as well. I think just Zack Snyder can only write the brooding character. I think
Warner Brothers was writing the success of the Dark Knight trilogy.
This was not a team that could really work on Superman. You've got Christopher Nolan, good director and good producer.
But he's not a big.
But he's a dark writer. He likes to write realistic, grounded stories. Unless you're watching what's the movie called? Interstellar, in which he writes complete nonsense. Then we have Zack Snyder, who is a comic fan and is visually appealing, but he has trouble understanding why people like this character. He has trouble understanding why people like these lighter characters. He only writes he only makes movies for dark characters.
And that's fine.
You can tell,
you
can tell he struggles with characters that are supposed to symbolize hope.
Yeah.
You can tell he really struggles. And then there's Goyer, who's kind of a trash writer.
Yeah.
And if I'm being perfectly honest, he's the reason why the Dark Knight trilogy wasn't the perfection it was. No one's the reason why the Dark Knight trilogy was successful. Goyer's the reason why it did not do as well as it could have done. I do think The Dark Knight's a great movie.
Yeah.
I do hate Goyer as a writer. I think he is genuine trash.
He's okay with ideas, but when he gets writing like actual dialogue, no.
I'm sure everyone's okay with ideas.
Heaven help us.
So continue.
Well, I like I said, I really enjoyed this movie going in and coming out. You know, I had a great time. It was something that I was looking forward to for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I followed this movie religiously leading up to the release.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe part of my enjoyment of the film is, you know, I dedicated at least a year following this movie. I can't be let down. But I do realize that it does have faults. It's not a perfect film. It has things that I would definitely change. The tornado sequence, I would change that in a heartbeat. I would change.
I've read at least a Cliff Notes version of the original script, taking a lot of parts, and it's much better. I don't know what happened.
I would shorten some of the battles. I kind of felt okay. Well, we're still kind of going when Zod takes his armor off and he's like, okay, well, I gotta fight you now, Superman. Okay,
I gotta fight you now.
The final boss battle. In the theater, I was like, okay, well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, some of the dialogue needs to be changed, but I still like it because it took a lot of pieces and parts from various parts of Superman continuity. The two robots that Jor-El has on Krypton, Kelex and Kelor, those are actual robots in the Superman continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are actual
cool.
Kryptonian robots.
That was pretty cool.
I like how they have nice little things like that. There are like little bits and pieces of Superman continuity thrown everywhere. And if you look at it, it's kind of a live-action version of John Byrne's Man of Steel.
It is absolutely not.
Kind of his version.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I do feel there's many key differences with the two of them. Many key differences.
No, I agree. There are a lot of differences.
I think it's like comparing Dark Knight Rises to Dark Knight Returns. I do think
they're both trash.
They are. I do think they're entirely different stories and do entirely different things, even if they do hit the same points.
I'm talking about like interpretation of character.
Well, there's a lot of interpretations that are like the Man of Steel interpretation.
Okay.
Does it mean it's like all those interpretations? I will very vigorously disagree with that. Very vigorously. I do feel there's a very strong difference between those two, but that's just me.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's just my way of looking at it. I see more of like an 80s style Superman coming out of that. I mean, yeah, he's not, wearing the bright colors like he should be, and he's not.
He's cleaned up the coloring in this movie, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Because I like the suit. I like Henry Cavill. I think the best part in that movie is where he learns to fly for the first time. That's a beautiful sequence.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of comes out of nowhere in terms of tone.
I do think the best part of the movie for me is the fighting sequence with the Kryptonians, but that's just me.
Oh, in Smallville?
Yes.
I like that one too.
The Smallville fight was really
That's also really good. There are a lot of
There's a lot of problems with it, but it looks really good.
I like the action a lot, and I'm not really a big guy that's like, oh,
the
action, yeah.
For people who criticize the movie, the action is very well done.
Yeah, we actually get to see Kryptonians do things we haven't seen them do in a Superman movie before. Like throw a punch. Superman throws a punch in this one.
Finally.
After doing nothing but moping around and stalking Lois in Superman Returns, we get a movie where he actually does something super.
Throws a punch. Where he finally decks a guy. The build-up's just to watch him deck somebody.
What else did I really like about this one? I don't know. It works for me, but I know that it's not for everyone.
Okay. My point with this film is that when I first saw this film, I was confused. I was very emotionally confused. I didn't know how to feel about this. On one hand, the part of me that loves Superman was just like, finally, you got a Superman movie that isn't complete garbage. And the other fan of me was just like, there's something just wrong with this movie, and I can't tell. It's like the Phantom Menace dilemma. Like I said, for when I first saw Phantom Menace, I can tell you right off the bat what was wrong with that movie. It's really hard to tell what the issue was. It was only after like a second or third viewing that I really realized that I did not like this movie in the slightest. And then I really sat down and started thinking. I read a lot of pieces about the movie itself, and I watched the movie a bunch myself, and I started realizing that I don't like this film at all. And I felt like a second time with a friend of mine, and I came out of the theater that time, and I'm like, this movie is terrible. It is complete nonsensical garbage. Now, I do feel I was a little harshly criticizing at the time. That was because I've realized now I think it was because it was so close to something good that the issues that it didn't, the mistakes it made were so elementary. They're so basic. They're so simple. They're so easily avoidable. They should have been so easy to spot. It shouldn't have happened. Excuse me. First up, I want to make this point. Man of Steel, as a Superman film, is not very good. Man of Steel, as a science fiction film, a soft science fiction film, is actually pretty interesting, and it's pretty fascinating. Now, if this movie wasn't about Superman, do I think it would have been as harshly criticized as it was?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I think a lot of the problems it does have, like writing, character motivation,
jump between landing on Earth and 30 years
later.
later.
The cuts. I think those would have all been issues. I think little things like the codex.
Kind of stupid.
And how he handles certain things wouldn't have been questioned as much if the character hadn't already been established. Now people say, well, that means it's good, right? No, because it's not just a sci-fi film. It is a Superman film, and it'll be judged accordingly for what it is. I really, really hate that argument. That, well, I mean, you just said right there. You just said it's a pretty good film. If it's not a Superman film, then does it still make it good? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The fact being that as a sci-fi film it's good is even more insulting, because that means it should have been really easy to make the Superman aspect better. The mistakes they made are so basic. The codex, none necessary.
Yep.
The John Kent completely ruined in this movie. Jonathan Kent, his dad, his adopted father, his actual father, let's be perfectly frank here, his dad ruined in this movie. They destroy this character. They tear him apart. They ruin what should be a very kind-hearted challenge. He has a challenge here, but ultimately is doing what he can. I know we can interpret that he is somebody who is really out of his league trying to do what he can, but the problem is the film does not relay that message strong enough. Because of that, Jonathan Kent, the man who should be Superman's moral compass, is really, really skewed. And because of that, you bring into question Superman's own personal morals, because Jonathan Kent is his moral compass. And Martha Kent. Martha Kent is his moral compass. That's his moral compass. And if half that doesn't work, his moral compass is skewed. And as a comic fan, as a Superman fan, I felt so insulted that they did that. I'm like, come on, man. This is Jonathan Kent. The answer to, should I let the kids down, wasn't maybe. The answer should be, no, obviously not. But you have to find a better way. There's always a better way. That's the answer that Jonathan Kent would have given. That's the answer that Superman's dad would have had. He'd been like, no, of course not. You saved those children. But you have to do it a better way. You have to find a better way. With all this power, you have to use it. And use it smart. You have to be smart with it, son. And that is the Kent way.
Yeah.
The Kent way is not saying maybe to a question of killing kids. That sends a wrong message to a young child. This Jonathan Kent should not have a son. He is not ready for it.
Or at least not an extraterrestrial one with powers.
He's just not ready for it. He's a father who doesn't understand what he's doing. He's obviously not ready to have a kid.
I feel like if they did change that, I feel people would be a little bit less harsh on him, because that's the line that everybody exploded about.
That and the tornado sequence.
Yeah, that too. But if you look at all the other stuff... I like
the original script. When the tornado sequence happened, Jonathan told Kent... Paul Kent told him no. Superman straight up ignored him, saved him without anybody seeing him, but then Jonathan Kent had a heart attack. Because the event, that super speed, was just so sudden that his body just couldn't handle it. Because it would have been great, because it would have been telling Superman that just sometimes you can't save everyone. That's the point they're trying to make with that sequence. If they would have done it that way, it would have been much better. It would have been much more clear. It would have been very clear what they're trying to say, and it would have been much better. Because it would have been, well, Superman couldn't have done anything in this circumstance.
Yeah.
And it would have been great. Now, there are good things in this film. My next big issue I have with that thing, I don't think he earned the death in the end. I even think you had this conversation. He didn't earn that Zod death. That's not the fact that Zod died was my problem, because we've killed Zod before.
Yeah.
And it was a big moment for me.
I don't have a problem that he killed General Zod.
My problem with the Zod death is that A, didn't earn it, and B, there's no emotional there's no real emotional. There's nothing that really it doesn't affect him afterwards. There's a yell and it's over. I'm like,
let me amend my statement before a slew of angry internet trolls come after me and say I don't know jack blank about Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with Superman killing because I know that everything's not always going to be a black and white, easy cut answer.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I want Superman to kill.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a very clear difference between
Superman should only kill when he is all out of options, when his opportunities have been completely erased.
That would rather not kill robots.
Yes.
That have no mind in theirs. He'd just rather not kill them. But when he asks, he's like, I just got to do it. It's just I'm not given the choice here.
Superman is ultimately a pacifist.
He is. He'd rather not hurt people, and that is great. I feel with Zod, it made sense
because he was relentless. He would stop at nothing.
I feel it wasn't earned. I feel that point wasn't made strong. I don't feel Superman earned the kill, and then I don't think that the emotional recourse of him after the kill, I don't think that was done well at all.
No, they needed an extra scene where he's sitting at home in Smallville and he's helping his mom pick things up after his home is destroyed by Zod and his lackeys. And just like, Mom, did I do the right thing?
Just like him stop and like him picking things up and he just stops. He can't go anywhere. And it's like, Mom, so yes. Did I do what's right? And the moment she looks at him and says, it's not about what you did, whether it was right or wrong. What's about is whether it was necessary or not. And that's the question. Did you have to do this? He wasn't going to stop. We would never stop. The killing will never be right. But sometimes it is necessary. And that there would have been really well done.
Yeah.
That would have been the emotional impact we needed. And then even after that, show that he's still not okay with the decision, but now he understands what he did. And he can at least live with himself.
Because his actions have responsibilities.
Yeah, and there's nothing in there that action doesn't have any negative reaction at all. And it's something that's just poor. It's poor.
He has responsibility. His actions have repercussions, good or bad. Everything he does is a political statement.
Yeah, he screams like someone punched him in the balls. Like that's really gonna put your point home. That puts your point home. Yeah, all right, Snyder, you did a real great job with that. And I looked at this with taking Superman out, and that is the one thing that does not fit. That still isn't earned, even it not being about Superman. If it was about some other character that had these powers, it still wouldn't have fit. And this is my dilemma: is that this movie isn't bad. This movie as a movie is fine. As a Superman movie, it's mediocre. I do feel like people criticize this movie a little harshly. I think. After rewatching it a few times and after some time, I think looking back, I do feel that we all got swept up by the minority in this one. The minority who really didn't like this film at all, and you couldn't convince them anyways. I think we all got swept up by them because we were all kind of frustrated by the little things that were wrong with it too. And we didn't sit there and say, look, this movie isn't good, but this movie isn't that bad either. It's just okay.
I still have fun with it.
I rewatch it, and there are moments that I'm generally like, all right, that's enjoyable. Is this movie poorly shot? Yes and no.
I hate the shaky cam.
Yes and no. The shaky cam is a little annoying, but there are
like
shots.
The CGI though.
There are shots which are excellent.
Oh yeah.
Now the coloring could be better.
Yeah.
Is the coloring horrible? It's not the be all end all, but it is kind of dumb that they made it so dark.
Yeah. For a Superman movie, yeah, kind of.
Were the idea of the flashbacks good? I liked what they were trying to do with the flashbacks. The execution, on the other hand,
needed some work. Though I do like that we get to see that Clark actually has powers as a kid, and that.
But we all knew that.
Yeah, I know, but that
it didn't play
seeing
the plot
it
at all
on screen though, because we hadn't seen that
That's
on
cool.
the silver screen before. That's terrifying.
It's like people say, "Oh, we got the killing joke on screen." It's like, yeah, but we didn't. It wasn't done very well.
No, I mean, just imagine how terrifying it would be if all of a sudden you could see through your teacher.
That's cool. I wish it had anything to do with the story and plot at all, other than just kind of being there. I was an outsider. One flashback told me that. I don't need 5.
All right.
Like I said, a lot of this problem comes down to a lot of the flashbacks are fixed by just little changes. A little changes that would have mattered more to the film. And that's the problem. These are such elementary mistakes that Goyer, Snyder, and especially Nolan know better. They know better. They don't make these mistakes. They do not make these mistakes. They are professionals, and they should have not made these mistakes. So, I think that's fair. I do feel like that. I really do ask all of you, if you hate this film or if you love this film, go back and look at it fairly. Don't look at it at people's already perceived notion. Look at it through new eyes. Try to look at it for what it was trying to do. And I don't think you'll necessarily agree with us, but I think you'll also see it a little bit in a different light. It's not that great, but at the same time, it's not that bad. It's just okay. It's a mediocre film that you know what is better than what we've had, and it's a step at least into the right direction. Now, with the GC Justice, with the GC universe, cinematic universe crumbling away, and it's a sinking boat. For here, we like to hop off, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Have a wonderful week. Comment, subscribe, like us. Do all the things, and it's wonderful doing this for you guys. See you later.
Adidas, amigos.
Another week, another episode of Collectors Coalition, a Magnesium Studios production.
Prolonged exposure to this podcast may cause the following side effects.
Visiting our website at collectorscoalition.com.
Listening to us on SoundCloud, PodOmatic, and iTunes.
Subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Following us on Twitter at Collect Coalition.
Following us on Instagram, Tumblr, and Facebook at Collectors Coalition.
Bouts of extreme depression.
Uncurable explosive diarrhea.
Not being able to grow up past the mental maturity of a 3-year-old.
But in all seriousness, thank you for listening, and we love you all.
And remember, stay nerdy, my friends.